Go! This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this show is packed Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. This sports program starts right now.
Sports!
A big-time topic around the world right now. And we'll be talking about it all because obviously the NBA had a massive happening last evening as LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers were swept out of the Western Conference Finals by a big, tall Serbian and a team from Denver that has been remarkable to watch this entire playoff run. No way the NBA lets LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers get swept by a small-town, no superstar basketball team like the Denver Nuggets. That was the conspiracy theory in all of us.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way that LeBron James is going to lose back-to-back games in the crypt to get swept in the Western Conference Finals when he's won the conference finals like the last 9 times he's actually been there. He has lived in primetime, in the playoffs, in the finals, and has always been successful. To get swept out the door?
Why?
No way!
Not a chance.
They got fucking swept.
Yes, they did.
Big time.
The triple-double machine that is the Joker in this Denver Nuggets team is a story that I wish we would have been able to cover closer. Now, I will say next year, I feel like we are going to be able to cover some other leagues a little bit closer. We have somebody from ESPN here. This is our first interaction with learning what the back end of ESPN is going to look like, what we will be able to access and utilize and weaponize that ESPN has. Oh, just like a $15 million a year back end thing that we're going to be able to access. We're going to be able to cover everything in a beautiful fashion, in a much more epic fashion. And these Joker highlights that I assume have been happening all season that we have not seen because it's not our duty to cover that are going to be seen.
Yeah.
Big time.
Because we can find them like that, rip them like that, and put them up on that board within 7 seconds, I do believe.
Instantaneous.
It is an amazing thing, and we cannot wait to get started over there, even though everybody on Earth is calling us a sellout. Our life is about to get much easier, more efficient, quicker, and better, I do believe. And the show is going to do all those same things, which is exciting. But I don't know how I didn't know about this Nuggets team, just as casual sports stooge. Now there might be a 9-day wait before the next game, unless the Heat are able to continue doing what the Heat have been able to do, which is just beat the shit out of the Boston Celtics. And if they end up sweeping the Celtics, there would be a 9-day wait before the NBA Finals.
That's
now,
a long time.
That's a terrible business decision by the NBA. That's bad for fans. We'll forget that the playoffs are even happening. So maybe they'll be able to move it, but I don't think so. This is a fascinating development in the NBA that we could have never guessed happening, especially with all the conspiracy theories that you could potentially throw at the board because LeBron James and the Lakers. So not just the Lakers.
Right.
Which massive franchise.
Massive.
Just had a show about them.
Powerful.
Oh, yeah.
In Los Angeles. Powerful. LeBron James.
Yeah.
Very
powerful.
Powerful.
Powerful. So forever, we have to just be like, the NBA, strays in air.
It's not rigged.
We need to stop even dabbling into those conversations about them wanting things and how everything could be a foul, and they can kind of control who's going to the foul line, what players can be in games, what they can't be in games. That's just natural, like, pessimist looking at things.
Sure.
That happening last night, I think, good for the overall judgment of the NBA, although the NBA and the execs probably not expecting this to be the final. The final between the Heat, inevitably, and the Denver Nuggets are going to be worth a watch. And in the NHL, we got magic popping off.
Oh, yeah.
We got magic popping off, and in the NFL, there's owners' meetings happening where they're voting through terrible rules. And we will talk about all that with Ian Rappaport in about 14 minutes. Remember, Rapp, hey.
Yeah, count them while they're here.
Full-time job for the league at the network, you know, friend of the program, not a sellout.
Know what side he's going to be.
Not a sellout at all.
Nope.
This might be the last time he's ever on our show.
Could be.
Who knows?
Cherish it.
We'll see.
Because other people would control that.
Yes, they would.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
What is the deal? I am so sick of the lack of respect. Nonetheless, Ian Rappaport will be on in 14 minutes. He's at the owners' meetings. Allegedly, Roger Goodell was going around lobbying for this rule to pass about the kickoff, fair catch, 25-yard line, whole Bush League bullshit
Come on.
that they're trying to get into. Commissioner Roger Goodell is lobbying owners to pass the kickoff touchback rule after not having enough votes yesterday. So, didn't have enough votes yesterday. We're going to delay another vote because we want another round at it, Roger Goodell says. Hey, Raj, come on. You're my commissioner. You're our commissioner. This is a bullshit commissioner move. The kickoff rule that I don't want to say it. Put that thing back up. What's that first one there? Pitch. Here's his pitch on why these rules, why this bullshit rule needs to pass. And this rule will not be present in every game, okay?
No.
Kickers can reach the end zone. There's returners aren't going to take a fair catch if they can get a short kick at the 10, because normally that's going to be a bad ball. They're going to try to get it. But it's some game where it's going to be windy and cold and games are going to matter. This is going to happen, and everybody watching is going to go, that's the most bullshit looking thing I've ever seen.
Ridiculous.
In a professional football game. But the pitch, protect yourself versus litigation. We knew that was the reason why.
Right.
It's all just covering your ass for future problems. I would like to see these stats that they keep saying are so prevalent and endearing to saving lives and brains that the kickoff and the punt are the only two that it happens. Now, allegedly, there's more stats that say, what's the turf in those particular plays that's taking place? But them just continuing to throw these things without us ever actually seeing the whole thing and maybe us doing our own stats, it's like, it feels like, and I don't want to, say that, it feels like they're just kind of, hey, look. This part of the game, it matters, but doesn't really change too much. Ball it to 25, who cares? Ball it to 20, who cares? We're good there. But look, saving the day. Heroes. It's like, don't have to keep doing that. We get it, okay? And I understand there's potential lawsuits going ahead, but we can't just make the game so fucking fake and bullshit that it kind of disrespects the league as a whole. It's always like a protect the shield thing. When this first thing happens, people are going to think it's minor league football. They're going to think they're watching the USFL. They're going to think there's a chance that they're maybe watching junior football. It is a trash rule, but I understand it's just let's protect our future potential lawsuits, and we can't just be making decisions like that. That cannot be how a league that is the biggest in the world, the best in the world, operates. That cannot, you have to at some point just make decisions for the good of the game and for the good of your league and just understand that there's potential repercussions that are going to come, but at least have a little fucking integrity for the professionalism and for the lives. There's a lot of special teamers that make a lot of living off of this entire thing. In the game, there's a lot of strategy that's used in kicking off and kickoff returns. You're taking away special teams coaches, incentives on to be good. You're taking special teams weapons out of to be good. I just don't understand how this is a thing. And then for them to report the reason is future litigation. It's that can't be how we're making decisions right now. That cannot be why and how we're doing it. So I, as the man, and I don't do this a lot, but I love the kickoff.
That's right.
Me too.
I think I have the highest touchback percentage in the history of the NFL over a year. I think I have tied the most onside kicks successfully recovered in one season. I think what teams were doing against our kickoff team became the rule currently with how many people need to be up because they were scared we're going to do a surprise onside. I have had a pretty large impact on the kickoff play. Very selfish, very arrogant for me to say that. Stats are stats. It's the real deal. It's a real fucking play, though. And there's real strategy. And there's real things to be gained from that. And there's I hate that they're diluting it down to this to make it look so Mickey Mouse. No offense.
Sorry.
No offense. Pac-Man Jones is here, obviously all-pro returner, icon of a man. Kickoff returns are strategy. Now, some people see them as a free throw. Hey, this is going to be a touchback, and now we move on. Well, then view it as that. It's a part of the game. But there is time where you're trying to pin somebody deep, where you need field position late in the game, where you need to pin them, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, the return team can flip the game on its head as well and get out there. It's like you're just taking away another chess move, and I don't understand why you'd want to dumb the game down. Pac-Man Jones, your thoughts. I'm sorry I rambled.
I think this is one of the dumbest moves ever. Of course, they doing it for the lawsuit, but this fucks up for everything. Now you only need a punter and a field goal kicker. That's taking away jobs. And for me, I would just say fuck it, because when I'm back there, I'm not looking to get 20.
No, I heard you were going to fair catch a kickoff.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
every
going to
time.
try to run it back regardless. So this don't really bother me, but it does take away from the game because now the coach can be like, just keep the ball in there if we can't get to the 25-yard line. So I think it's real bullshit, but I'm taking it out every time.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't fair catch a punt either. That's why you were kind of a scumbag out there.
A little bit.
Because you're attacking other people's jobs as well. You know, people hanging them up.
Shouldn't kick it to me.
Good cover. Where
Kick
was
it out of bounds.
Where? I was just
no
supposed
fun.
to punt it out of bounds?
Punt it out of bounds.
Okay. Sounds so easy.
Yeah.
That's what AJ says too.
Yeah, just do
Kick it out
it.
of bounds, dude. I won't cover a kick.
Simple.
It's all right. Just jog down there. The guy will fair catch.
Or hang
Unless-
it up like you always do.
That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, this one.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, we got 6 guys running. I mean, that's
God,
what we're doing.
7-2 hang time.
Yeah, come on. All right, get this off. I don't know who made that. They'll probably sue us, even though it's me and it's other people's highlights. But I just don't like dumbing down the game just for the sake of future lawsuits.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that somebody has to have that thought in the room. I get it. We'll talk to Ian Rappaport in about 8 minutes. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Seems like you wanted to say something here about this.
Well, I just think like the cause for concern with this too is like they say if it doesn't work and like the coaches were right, then after 1 year they'll reinstitute it and it'll go back to normal next year. But like when you already get the ball rolling with this type of thing, like what if, because we don't know how many actual concussions come from kickoffs. Like they're saying it's a lot, but when you watch the games, it doesn't.
I don't remember.
Neither do I. It feels like guys are blowing knees out and stuff like that, which might be more
Supergrass.
towards supergrass and the turf and stuff like that. But if they look at all the numbers after the season and nothing really changed because there probably weren't that many to begin with, then like what's to say next year instead of putting it back to normal to be like, okay, actually this wasn't any safer, so now we just got to eliminate the kickoff as a whole.
So you know what they're thinking? They're thinking that we can get ahead of a narrative that we already foresee coming in a lawsuit 15 years from now. Because college football is already doing this, us choosing not to do it, a lawyer can say the NFL had examples from college and chose not to do that in a lawsuit in the future. And I guess you got to do that. We can't be living in our fears.
That lawyer
We
should
cannot be living in our fears. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs. Mike Tomlin says that.
That lawyer should be disbarred, okay, first and foremost. And if you're a football player and if you sue for getting a concussion, then fuck you, okay?
All right. So,
Tony.
That's part of the game. We all know it, okay?
So-
that happens. You know what? And I hate to, we have to find a new commissioner now.
Whoa.
now he's still our
No, he's not my commissioner anymore. He
I
was
don't like
our
that he was
commissioner.
lobbying this, though. Like, I don't
Yeah.
like that he was the one.
Didn't have the votes yesterday.
All right, so what do? Go around. Hey, you know we really need this.
Push
Okay,
the vote
so
back.
all you people that are in charge of the competition committee, I mean, I'm just the commissioner. I kind of oversee everything, including NFL Network and NFL Plus and the league and the refs and everything.
What?
But you guys, competition committee, you kind of make the game. You voted no yesterday? Give me a night. Give me a, I got something free tomorrow. It's like, come on, bro.
You think
if they would have voted yes, cool. But players, coaches, competition committee,
Yes.
every human's like, nah, we don't want this. And then he steps back in the batter's box. I guess you got to be impressed with how convincing he is, which once again leads us to the case that if he wanted to, he could be the president of the United States whenever.
For sure.
Whenever he got summoned
Yeah, by Congress.
to the House Oversight Committee,
Yep.
we were all excited to see Roger Goodell go in there and dance with the politicians. Because if he wasn't making $45 million a year, I assume he would be in some political role somewhere with how great of a speaker he is and how he can handle things. So we were excited to watch him battle with the House Oversight Committee. Now, one of them called him Goodall.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't even know the guy's name.
Mr. Goodall.
He obviously won. He said, are you asking me that question when he asked about taxpayer money? And he had a good performance, which Roger Goodell always does in front of a microphone. And now we know that he can sway people who think something's bullshit into believing that it's not anymore. And maybe it's just for litigation purposes. But this is the first time in a while where I've gone, come on, Goodell.
This
Come on,
choice.
Commissioner.
This,
Even when he took away that we couldn't be in the back end when we couldn't make the wall no more, I was cool with that. But like
The wedge, yeah, that makes
we
sense.
couldn't make the wedge. That makes sense because people was coming down in the wedge. So
People are actually, their careers were wedge busters was their name. And people hear that. And if you meet a wedge buster, especially an NFL wedge buster,
You know.
you need to know this. This is an Ohio fuck, pretty much. That's exactly whose head is probably going to be
Big man.
gigantic. And they are going to have some general traits about them.
they're gonna be running real fast.
And they are not going to
They don't
care
give a fuck.
at all. And that was their job to go,
Yes.
headfirst missile into 3 people, and then others will kind of scoop off the side. So we're going to knock down the wall, the wedge, with your. So you're cool with doing this 20 miles an hour, head first, whole body. You're going to try to get shoulder pad of one of them and then head of the other. So you eat 2, and then we'll come off the side of them.
Perfect.
Okay, I would like that job.
Yeah. Tom getting on the field, right?
Yeah, you can have a 10-year career doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have a 10-year career doing this because there's not a lot of yous out there. We need you fast, and you need to be very courageous.
Yeah.
And they're like, deal, I got it. So them getting rid of that whole part of the game, I think we were all very understanding.
Yeah.
Because we had friends that did that thing. And it was like, bro, I don't know.
Yeah, I just saw this movie Concussion.
I don't know if you should be just, and then the wedge, AQ was the wedge.
Yeah.
And
That wasn't great.
Same
either.
side.
he's what, 310 pounds?
Yeah.
And he's in the middle of the wedge, and you got guys flying down. It's like, all right, we're going head to head with this guy.
Yeah.
And he loved it.
See who's still standing.
King of wedge. Like, he absolutely loved it. So he refused to watch the movie Concussion because he told me that Will Smith did not tell the truth, which is what Will was saying
Right.
the whole time.
To the NFL.
So whenever they got rid of the wedge, I agree. We were all like, that seemed to be a little archaic.
Yeah.
That
Makes
seemed to be
sense.
that. But to add this in there, it's like, come on, did we not go far enough already? Because the college has this in there. They still have wedges, I think. They're still able to have 5 people back. They're still able to have a run-up. So like the NFL has changed the kickoff more than college football has. So if they're worried about future litigation and them saying, well, college did this, it's like, well, you were already proacted before then. So I just don't understand why you would want to hammer this home, like why this is something. And once again, we'll only see it probably a couple times through the season.
Hopefully.
But
It'll
every
matter.
time we see it, it'll just be like, that's not NFL.
That was dumb.
Whole thing kind of stinks. Sounds like there was a vote yesterday, and Roger went to the owner and said, "Hey, if one of you guys gets in trouble this year, maybe I won't punish them if you vote for this rule." Something like
That's not our
Well,
commissioner.
he definitely moved it to today, though.
That's not
doubt
our
ab-
commissioner.
No doubt about it.
That's not
Quite the accusation.
Yeah, you need Dahn. You just said you're out on the
that.
commission.
You said he'd be a great politician, and guess what? That's what they do.
Yeah, trading votes right there. An eye for an eye. A favor for a
yeah,
favor.
but he's actually got to answer to his constituents.
But like you said, he
You
never.
know what I mean?
He never
he actually has to answer to
Yeah,
it.
but
Maybe he
never
offered up
actually-
some of those M&Ms that he loves so much.
And on his leather couch, you think he rolled in his leather recliner with those peanut M&Ms, and he had somebody push him around? I need to get to that team. Roll me to their room. Rolls me down there, eats his peanut M&Ms. He goes, future litigation, boys.
You don't want that.
It's tough. Have an M&M.
It'd be tough not to buy it, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I don't like that Roger Goodell is involved in this. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, boots on the ground at Roger Goodell's Lobby Fest out there at Owners Meeting. The senior insider for Roger Goodell's NFL Network. The senior insider for Roger Goodell's NFL website.
What?
The senior insider for Roger Goodell's NFL streaming service, NFL Plus. Host of the weekly wrap-up of the Rap Sheet and Friends, us being friends, he being Rap Sheet. Maybe last time ever. Remember, Ian Rappaport. Might be. Hey,
Please say it.
Never know.
Chance.
never know. Never know, Rap. This is what people are telling me on the internet.
Sell out.
That's why
Hello.
you don't need to read the comment section, my friend.
Hey,
Hello.
That need to stay away from that.
well, Roger Goodell, and I don't think I feel like I have a solid amount of respect for Roger Goodell because I've seen him work, and I understand that his position, he's going to piss people off. Like, you are signing up. At some point, you're going to make people mad. People who are fanatical about something are going to get very mad at you if you're the person who has to enact a punishment against the thing that they're fanatical about. So it's a tough job. Every commissioner is going to be hated by people. I understand that. I watched him work a couple rooms. I was very impressed with his brain and everything, the way he operated. And obviously, he has grown the NFL in a fashion where it is up and to the right, where everything else is not like that. So I got respect for Roger Goodell.
But
What is this bullshit? Why is he lobbying for this Mickey Mouse? Sorry.
Once again, sorry.
Sorry about that. There's an ESPN person in the building.
No
Good
offense.
guy. Great guy.
Great guy.
Good
Great
guy.
guy. We
Big
appreciate Guy
Yeah.
a lot. Appreciate Guy a lot. But why is he lobbying for this to pass? And why is it coming out that the pitch was future litigation? Like, are we just making every decision because of future potential lawsuits? That doesn't sound like the NFL that I love. Ian, why are we doing this?
no, as far as future litigation, I had not
sick.
heard that as being a justification for this rule. I did just attend a press conference from Jeff Miller, who basically is in charge of NFL health and safety, and from Rich McKay, the head of the competition committee. So a couple things. I would say you are correct in saying that Roger Goodell was pushing this. I mean, I just talked to a source literally 2 minutes ago who said, Roger would not let this go. Like, this was something where, I know there was a conference call, which you probably know, but I know there was a conference call among NFL special teamers and special teams coaches. They all oppose this. Everyone I've spoken to in the special teams community.
Everybody likes football. Yeah.
Right.
I'm over here looking at Tommy, and he's like, I hate this. Yeah, that'll do. Not is what he said. Everybody.
So, the reasons for this was kickers have gotten very good. Punchers, of course, have always been good. But kickers have gotten very good. So what they've been doing is basically creating a situation where opponents have to make returns. So you had returns spike dramatically over the last couple of years. Concussions have also gone up in
Is that real?
The last couple of years.
Have we heard that? Have we seen that? That just gets said. So I assume it's real, but there has to be some angle. What's the angle of the stat? What's the angle? Because that just gets thrown out there all the time, and it feels like it's over here. It's over here.
Can you still see me? You can see me, right?
Yeah, you look good.
Hold on. Yeah, I know. So
right there.
Kickoff play has the highest rate of concussion year after year. That's what Rich McKay said. And the actual data, I don't have it here, but I believe 15%.
Nobody has the actual data.
I believe 15% is how much concussions have gone up on kickoffs the last couple of years. So basically what they say is they do not want to get rid of kickoffs. They want it to be part of it. They just feel like they have to make it safer. And so this is a 1-year rule.
Yeah.
And then they will see at the end of this year.
Okay, so I appreciate you telling me all that information. So you and I both know stats are on everybody's team somehow. Stats are on everybody's team, every debate, every angle. Stats are on there. Is that like the most amount of concussions per play that involves players running more than 40 yards or 45 yards? Yeah. Like, you never know, you know what I mean? Like, there is, because you don't see a lot of concussions, I guess, on deep balls.
No.
You don't see a lot of concussions on anything else. But and I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm just saying in the stats world that we're in right now, there's an angle seemingly for every single stat that could be countered by another stat somehow. Right. And they have always just said, well, the kick game is where all it's at. And I feel like I try to watch every game, and it's like, I don't think I see it as
that often.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a thing, but I might be, I guess, wrong.
Well, they have said, the competition committee and Jeff Miller, who again runs NFL Health and Safety, that most concussions come on specifically kickoff plays. Now, there are ways around this. One thing they said is they're going to look at the way the XFL does it.
Come on, bro. Who are these people? They hate football? These people that are doing this? This Mr. Miller fella, does he even care about football? Does he know football?
So wait, hold on. So you do not like the way, because we just talked about this for like 5 minutes. You don't like the XFL version where they...
No, come on, bro. What are we talking about? Football. We're playing fucking football here.
They like 5 yards apart.
Down the field.
Yes.
The kicker is punting like a safety. I'm kick off like a safety all by myself back there, right? That's what we're doing?
Right.
It's bad.
So they are going to study that. Because what they would like to do is...
Look at it one time and say, that can't be in the NFL. You studied it. Research is over. That can't be. How could you imagine walking into a stadium and that being
opening salvo?
What are we even talking about? Like I don't like the fair catch thing. I think just optically, I'm so disgusted by it because when it happens in the professional league, like it happens in college, it's like, all right, we got weak legs.
I was going to say, so when you're watching college football, have you? Because I honestly did not realize this was the college football rule since 2018. Like, has it alter the kickoff viewing experience when you watch it?
Well, I don't know because, to be clear, I didn't watch a lot of.
Yeah, it looks
because
weird.
A lot of them didn't bring it out though. A lot of them wouldn't bring it out because they think they will get 25 yards, and half of the kids in college not kicking the ball in the end zone.
And they're fair catching it at like the 7, the 10, the 11, even on low kicks.
Yeah.
So it's like the coaches are like just fair catch it if anywhere pretty much. I think you can even.
Yeah, you can take a knee.
They could take a knee on like the 7-yard line, I think, and the ball would go to the 25. It's like, what are we doing? And on another point, bring this up in the room whenever you're in there, please. You're our only person with boots on the ground. Sounds like the head health person has no idea what football is. That's great news. College still has wedges, I think, and they have a different rule for how many people can align within like 20 yards of where the ball is being kicked. So like the NFL has already proactively changed kickoffs more than college has.
Right.
So them adding the college bullshit, it's like, it's not going to happen that often.
A lot.
It's only going to happen a couple times through the year, I assume. It's only going to happen a few times.
Well, and then, obviously play it forward a little bit. Like, there are still some great returners, some incredibly talented players who not a lot of them, but make their living as returners. And it's like, roster-wise, like, how valuable is that?
Roster,
right? Like,
returners are done.
Yeah.
Returners are done, potentially. Who knows what they're going to do.
Kickoff returners are done if you do this rule.
Definitely.
Punt returners, you'll still need.
But who knows what they're going to do with the punt game.
Right.
We'll see what they're going to do because McKay said, the punt's next.
Yeah, more
potentially.
changes. Yeah.
But there's also, on the other side of it, and I know you guys in the media study special teams football and know how important
Obviously,
it is.
I'm one of the experts.
I mean, first meeting in every single building, first period of practice in every single building. Lombardi, Belichick, and all these coaches that are pretty good football. We're obsessed with it, but everybody else, doesn't fully understand it. So the thought of having talented kickers, though, like kickers being able to hang it and put it down,
And place it.
and then having talented cover people, like that's a weapon. Those are like 4 jobs.
Yeah.
That's like 5 jobs almost for the coverage people, the core people. So now you take out the kickoff return pretty much, and you take out the kickoff. It's like this roster construction is going to be interesting, and I don't know how. It just eliminates strategy.
Normally, if you win this part of the game, you can win the game. That's what they say. We win field possession, and when we win with the special team part of the game, we win the game.
So it's actually the first most important stat to decide who wins a football game, the score.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the score is the number one stat.
Points.
I could have told you that one.
Yeah. Second, turnovers. Okay. The third one, indicator, field position. Normally, turnovers goes with field position as well. That can kind of change things. But if you win the field position, it's like the third highest indicator for if you win a game or not. And now they're trying to eliminate it because Roger Goodell is lobbying alongside Mr. Miller. Let's talk about some other rules. Thursday Night Football, weeks 13 to 17. Can only do it twice. Have to have 28 days in advance. Feels like that Patriots-Steelers game is sitting right on the docket to get flexed the fuck out of there. Now, Steelers fans are obviously incredibly large. Patriots fans incredibly large and very active. But who knows where both those teams are going to be at that stage of the season. Is that what we're looking at? That's what we're thinking about? Saints, Rams, they might be on the way out. Chargers, Raiders. I know Mark Davis is not happy about this.
No.
So if all 3 Chargers fans have tickets to come to the game, how are they going to change your whole thing? What does this mean, and how happy is Bezos and the owners, and how pissed does it seem all the players are?
Well, first of all, as far as the Amazon part of it, like I get it because Amazon pays a lot, and there were some games last year. I mean, I know you guys had Al Michaels on pretty recently. I think it was last week, right? And like there were some times when you could tell he was not pleased about kind of where the game was going and how good the game was. I would say this, from what I know of this new, I would still be surprised if any game was flexed. I would be surprised if any game was flexed because they don't want to use this. I mean, it's something that what's that?
Don't they have to try it once, though, you think? No?
I don't know. And like, so you talk about the Patriots-Steelers game, it's not going to be like, well, we have a little bit better game, so maybe we'll do that. It's going to be like, okay, we have like, Mason Rudolph starting versus Bailey Zappi. Like, no one will watch this. We have to move. That's, to me, that's under the circumstances that you'd see a flex. Not like, hey, maybe this game is better than that game. We'll put this on.
Oh, so Sunday Night Football is biggest game of the week, pretty much. They get to project, 13 to 17 days out or something like that.
Yeah.
How many days is it?
The week before, I thought.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of days,
right.
though.
It's the Monday before the one before, right? So it's like 13 days.
Okay, so that,
Yeah.
I think that's the window in which 28 days is the window. That's because of hotels and teams and everybody having to move. And it sounds like it's a lot. And you're saying they don't even want to use it. Did they just do this to appease Amazon to be like, okay, you got it? And they are reluctant to use it? Because it would feel like the NFL would want Thursdays to be a success.
Yeah. Start the week.
Right? Wouldn't they? Oh, so who's talking?
but I think the main thing is because
Who's that? Roger Goodell? Tell him what the fuck.
no, just yelling.
Okay.
Top of his lungs.
Not Roger.
No, because I think basically it is the kind of thing where like they want it available, but it's only going to be used if they have literally no other choice. You know, like if it gets to a point where like, you know, it's a quarterback injury and the team is nowhere and it's a game that, you know, you just can't have on TV, then they'll use it. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be used. And, you know, I don't know if it's to
It'd be smart to play right now, too, because players and coaches hate this so bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So saying, we're not going to use it. We just, you know, have to be
put it
able
in
to.
there.
Yeah. So now being like, we're not going to use it.
I mean, but basically the way they explained it yesterday was like there's a high bar for flexing Sunday. There's a higher bar for flexing Monday. And there's an even higher bar for flexing Thursday. That was how it was explained yesterday.
Interesting. I'm excited to see kind of how it all pans out. Connor has a question for you, old Rap, about what's going on over there.
Yeah, Rap Sheet, there was something going on with DeAndre Hopkins over the last couple days, and before he was definitely getting traded. Then DeAndre Hopkins said, you know what, I never said I wanted to leave Arizona. And now, again, he's choosing, you know, the top 5 quarterbacks that he'd like to play with. What's going on? Is he going to be in Arizona, and what's the deal here?
He was on I Am Athlete, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Full sit down.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting.
It was a big interview.
It was an interesting angle. What's the angle? It was an interesting angle.
Remember, we all believed his Arizona thing.
He only said one quarterback, though.
He gave his top 5.
Yeah, but he gave teams. It didn't seem like he was going to be in Arizona. Is that what Arizona's think? Like, it felt like, that was an interesting angle. How'd you feel?
I have been over it a bunch. And it's almost like if you stop the recording at a certain point, I would say one thing, but then he kept going and I'm like, oh, wait, maybe he means this. So it's like, I want a quarterback who loves football and wants to win. I'm like, oh. And then he's like, and this is why I love Kyler Murray. Oh, wait. But then it's like, well, Kyler Murray is going to be injured, so Colt McCoy is going to be my quarterback. And I was like, oh. So it's kind of a winding road. I am not ready to make any definitive statements about DeAndre Hopkins. Like, do I think he'll be on Arizona? Like, that is kind of what I think. But I don't know what's going to happen as we get, you know, through training camp. Like, maybe there's a playoff-ready team that loses a key receiver that says, you know what? We need to go get this guy, and maybe at this point Arizona says, all right, we're not as far along as we want to be. Maybe this will be a rebuilding season. Like, we're going to send the money and get a draft pick. Like, to me, I think he could be on the Cardinals, but it still seems open, and he seems open to kind of whatever outcome may end up happening. So there's going to be a couple different checkpoints right around the cut, you know, start of training camp, and then right around cut down day, and then the trade deadline where we're all going to be talking about DeAndre Hopkins.
Situation's fluid.
That's right.
It's a fluid situation.
Ever changing.
Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, and he complimented Kyler Murray in there. Those are quarterbacks he'd love to play with via I Am Athlete podcast. The whole thing, though, about Kyler not playing next year is interesting. How long he won't play for and what that means for the Cardinals. They got no primetime games. As an owner of a football team, which this guy's dialed in with.
Yep.
This guy's dialed in with Cardinals ownership.
Yes.
Let's remember that. We've
always
seen that in a couple different situations in the past. Somebody in ownership team, if not direct owner, is with Cuz right here.
Yeah, very tight.
Rap.
You don't pay that guaranteed money to a quarterback and then expect to have the lowest over-under total in the NFL and no primetime games.
Yikes.
Injuries are a crazy thing, but that Cardinals team is interesting, Rap. That's an interesting situation on how the next few years kind of turn, because I know they're looking for explosives and everything like that. But will they ever get a chance to do anything? Because it seems like one step forward, 2 steps. Things start going good, then everything kind of is a clusterfuck. Then you go forward, then it goes back. Then you pay a guy, and then he's out. And also, he's not getting along with the guy you also paid, the head coach and offensive coordinator. It's like, why is it like that over there? Why? And does that change, you think? Does that change?
So let's look at what happened during the draft.
Worst
Because
facilities in football, too. I didn't even think about that. They got worst grade in football, didn't they? It was
Paying for
31.
off-season meals, yeah, they're the worst.
I mean, just like complete. Why is it like that? You think? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just want to add that in there.
No. So first of all, I think the hope is that all those things are changing. Change is slow. Change happens not when you snap your fingers. And let's take a look at what happened during the draft, right? So you had them at 3. They traded all the way back to 12, ended up going up a little bit to get Paris Johnson, but they accumulated draft picks. So when you accumulate draft picks, it makes you think that they're a team that is going to be building, right? Rather than win now, they feel like a team that's going to be building. They have a situation this year where Kyler Murray is not expected to be ready to start the season, which obviously we've discussed. We'll see when he's ready. Is it week 5? Is it week 10? If they are 2-8, is he coming back to play? I do not know what the future holds when Kyler Murray is going to play. So this very well could be the kind of season that you use to sort of bottom out, collect draft picks, and start for the future. And so then it's all right, well, you have a big chip, right? You have a starting quarterback. Do you want him to be your quarterback going forward? If you do, then he's awesome and let's go. If you don't, then you can accumulate more draft picks. So there's similar to the DeAndre Hopkins situation. This could go a couple different ways. They could build based off of all of this for the next 10 years if they do it right.
Well, good luck. They need to build a new building.
Yep.
They need to build a new building. They were 31st in the NFL. 31st in the NFL in that report card. The only team that was lower was the Commanders. Speaking of the Commanders, Ty Schmidt has a question for your rap.
Yeah, rap sheet. Yesterday, Jim Irsay kind of intimated that, hey, slow down with the Commanders being sold talk. That's not a done deal yet. I think you told us one of the last times you were on here that they probably weren't going to do, there wasn't going to be a vote for the Commanders at these league meetings. But, is this up in flux now? I thought it was a done deal. Is it no matter what going to be Josh Harris and his group, and now it's kind of just they have to get through all the hoops for this thing to be finalized?
Yeah, I would say it's more just getting everyone I've talked to expects it to happen. I do not believe it's a situation where is it going to happen? Is it not? It would be unprecedented if this did not happen. Josh Harris is expected to be the owner of the Commanders. The structure of the deal, how many people are involved, how much debt there is, how much cash is being used for it. Those are still some questions that I think the league is working through. And, the finance committee can go back. Let's say they want more cash. They can go back to Josh Harris and Mitchell Rales and all of them and say, this has too much debt. We would like more cash, whatever it is. For this deal to not happen now would be almost unthinkable. But it is not there yet. And so I would expect more of around the time of training camp, somewhere around there to have a special league meeting, assuming this all gets figured out, which I expect it will, and figure this out.
A couple days before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little. Yeah, we got some more questions. When's the season kicking off? September. Yeah, we got a couple more questions. Yeah, and then whenever it's time, boom, guess what? The heel that everybody hated, out.
See ya.
Brand new hero in for one of the biggest fan bases in the entire NFL. Jim Irsay has kind of become a spokesperson for a couple different things coming out of these owners' meetings, which I love. We all love. He gave his top 5. He did not everybody in Indy loved it.
That was interesting.
His top 5 that he gave on quarterbacks put John Elway over Peyton Manning on his original top 5. But everybody knew that what Jim Irsay was that Peyton's not even on it. What are we talking about?
No.
Sure.
Can't even rank. I mean, he's high and beyond, I think is what he meant.
Peyton Manning, yeah.
He just announced, I guess, that Roger Goodell's about to have a contract through 2027. All right.
Wow.
Okay.
Is that real? And did we know that was taking place? And how does that go? Roger Goodell negotiates with the entire ownership, all the owners on how much he should make? Is there a couple people in charge of Roger Goodell's contract? How does the voting process go? And did they know that Roger Goodell was going to make the kickoff a joke while they were negotiating this deal through 2027? Roger's done a great job, okay?
Yeah.
This kickoff thing, I don't know what he was doing.
It's a big stain.
I honestly don't know what he was doing there. This is not my commissioner, Roger Goodell. I have no idea how this became his thing. But anyways, new deal through 2027. Did we know this was coming? Congrats to him. And who negotiates that?
There is a small committee that's basically involved in deciding the compensation. It was something that I think there was maybe a couple people who thought this might be done in March. It was not. and then came in here. And I was actually talking to Lerner about this earlier, that like one of the big goals coming out of this was like finalize this extension. So Jim Irsay, I mean, who better to come out and speak than Jim Irsay? I mean, very famously came out sort of against Dan Snyder, and that started this whole thing in the fall league meeting. So Jim Irsay is, has earned iconic ownership speaking status. So he announces that they're, basically closing in, I guess was the word he uses. And I don't think it's not a surprise that Roger Goodell gets the extension. I wonder how many more of these there are going to be, but I know it's not something he's going to want to talk about, but we're going to go talk to him in a couple of minutes and see what he has to say.
You're talking to him in a couple of minutes?
Should be. Around noon, I was told. What time is it?
Where are
Around
you?
noon my time. I don't know. I'm in Minnesota.
18 minutes.
It's lovely here, by the way.
Hey, summer's out there, I heard. It's
Beautiful. Very nice.
Absolutely.
Now, in the winter, it gets very cold. This is much nicer.
Yeah, well, the Super Bowl out there was one of the coldest things
Oh my God.
I've ever encountered, I think.
Oh yeah, it was like
For sure.
negative 15, negative 20 with the wind chill every day. We were
Walking through the streets.
there.
Every day.
And then we go out and go fishing out on Lake Minnetonka.
Minnetonka.
It was so cold out
Oh
there.
my God.
Did you actually do ice fishing?
Yeah.
No, we're just kidding.
I mean, that sounds like something you would joke about, but then again, like, I could see you also doing that. I don't know. I don't know what to believe right now.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
we
believe
did.
it. No.
Yeah, we
Nope,
did.
No chance.
I did a lot of fishing.
Really.
A lot of it.
Got a
Looking
video.
for it all over the place.
Sure, Ian, we're going to go to Minnesota and not ice fish.
Yeah, that makes sense. Herm
You're
Edwards is
okay.
over there going, yeah, that makes sense,
Okay.
Rap. Yeah, that's... Yes, we went ice fishing. We were there for a long time.
Yeah.
I caught one fish, 7 hours, guaranteed to catch fish hand over fist.
Yep.
Where we were posted up in the middle of that. Ty had the runs. He was shitting in an outhouse on Lake Minnetonka that had no ceiling.
Yeah, no roof on the porta potty.
In the middle of the night. I mean, it was a scene out there. Big shout out to Rob, though, who took us out onto the track. Thank you, man. We walked on Lake Minnetonka. Allegedly, there's fucking wolves
Oh, yeah, there
that
were
could have
wolves.
hunted us down. One
Timber.
fish I pulled out of there. One fish.
Nice fish.
At least you had it on video, man.
Boy, I almost
Almost
didn't.
missed it.
Almost didn't, actually, because the camera's battery. Pac-Man has a question for you. Rap?
Again, the list have came out with teams are playing in different countries. Have you heard anything about that, and how soon will that be?
So what came out I think it was this morning, was basically what teams could be affiliated with different countries and sort of treat that as their local market, right? So like, I'll give you an example. Like, so the Steelers sort of can have Ireland as one of their local markets, meaning they
Mr.
can
Rooney.
sell advertising and have all sorts of, events
Not
there and
really.
stuff, because obviously Mr. Rooney was the ambassador and
There it is.
the
that the same?
Steelers are very, so like, it basically is what teams can treat what markets as local markets. And it's, as the game gets more international, and like obviously the interest in international
Shout out to Roger Goodell trying to make the game worse right now, but he's
significant.
for the game over there.
It kind of allows them to call different places home.
So teams had to sign up for that, or the NFL assigned that? I don't think I heard your answer there.
I would say I guess you put in a request and you say like, these are the places I would want, and then the NFL ends up assigning it. But it ends up being stuff that makes sense. So like, Steelers in Ireland, like that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, okay. Now let's go to another one that makes sense. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I would,
Steelers in
have to
Ireland
look
makes
at the
sense
list
because there's an owner who's
right.
an ambassador.
Yeah.
Let's go to some others
Yeah,
now.
I mean,
Let's go to
makes
some
sense.
others.
I'd have to. I'd
New
have to
England and
examine-
Germany, that makes sense.
Sure. Sebastian Vollmer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, who
Dolphins in
doesn't love
Brazil.
Sebastian Vollmer?
Because I love
else is
that
there?
teams are doing this. I think this is good for business. I think it's good for the game, and I think it's good for Europe as well. I got a message from an Austrian youth football league that has like kids playing,
Wow.
hundreds of them
Congratulations.
Here we go.
playing and everything like that, and they're needing funding or whatever. And I'm like, yo, CFO Phil, let's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
let's
get 'em some equipment.
Let's keep growing the game out here. Let's keep doing it. But 21 teams are there. Colts aren't one of them. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why do we not want it? Like, why did the 11 teams, 11 out of 32, chose not to do it? Did they choose not to do it, or did the NFL say, Nah, it doesn't make sense because you said a lot of these teams make sense. I was trying to piece together why the Colts, because we had Bjorn Werner, number 1 overall pick.
Sure.
It's like, why would we not have Germany? That would just be
I think doesn't he host a football show in Germany now?
big show, not just a little show.
Yeah.
Big show in Germany. They had like a 6,000 seater, I think.
Yeah.
Arena. They sold out an arena.
Yep.
Yeah. Big show.
Awesome.
Bjorn's doing. I'm actually going over there. We got to play ping pong again for his people over there. But he's built a massive following because of how great he is at chatting about football and how much the Germans love football. And I think it's completely in German. It's a whole thing. And he drafted number in the first round for the Colts. Colts aren't in Germany. I don't. So the Colts not sign up? Like, how did we miss that, you think?
I do not know the answer to your questions. But for the next time,
Germany would be a cool place. They seem to be pretty passionate.
Sure.
If we
Packers
end up
didn't
talking
sign up for
again-
anyone either, or didn't request anything.
No.
They're not on there. No, they're not.
Lions too.
Well, that
Not
makes
on there?
sense.
Well, they
though.
stink.
Not on there.
So I think the Lions should be on there. Like MCDC right now would be beloved.
What
Hell
countries
yeah.
aren't on there that could have maybe taken one of these teams on?
Germany, we should be in Germany.
Absolutely.
I don't know why the Colts are not in Germany.
Yeah.
First round pick on a German. I don't like a guy who's the face of football over there right now. One of the I don't fully comprehend it, but I do like the fact that the NFL's tapping into the global markets because there's international games. Players and coaches hate it, but as a fan, the environments are fucking.
Did they hate it?
Yeah.
It seemed the Germany one was a really, really positive experience last year.
Okay, so maybe I'm just speaking from my own experience and every human
Yeah,
that I've
me
talked
too.
to from like the original England setup, and not that it was England's fault. It was just like the schedule was just full on fuckery, pretty much in the middle of a season, and it's like, all right, we get it, but the atmosphere was electric.
Top tier.
So I'm happy this is going to continue to grow. I just didn't know why some teams didn't do it and why some teams did. Steelers make sense. Everybody else, I don't fully understand.
Maybe the Colts asked Germany, and all the Germans got together and said 9.
Is that the owner that? Wait, he said if they play over here, we're gonna have to pay for their games, and he promised 2 Super Bowls and didn't.
Don't you have do you have a question for Rapid?
Yeah, I
Get out
do.
of here.
More sense. actually, Tony.
Ian, Tom Brady is now a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Is he allowed to call their games? Is he allowed to call? Is that weird?
He is going to, I believe he's going to be allowed to call their games. I was told it's not going to affect his Fox deal, which again is not this year, but next year.
Hey, that's still
and
real,
that's
right? The Fox deal?
Yeah, I know people were talking about like, is it going to happen? Is it not? It's as far as I know, it's still going to happen. He's going to use this year to get really good at it and do it. He's not going to have they say he's not going to have a say in, with what goes on with the Raiders. It's going to be interesting because obviously we saw it in Indy, like Jeff Saturday is not an owner and didn't have a say, except he kind of did, obviously. Does Mark Davis end up leaning on Brady? He's not going to have a vote or whatever, but he's still going to be close, still going to be there to give advice. So that's going to be interesting. But I would expect him to be able to call their games. It's not like he's going to, be really nice to them and not criticize if he's calling the games. It is what it is.
Sure.
So
I would
don't
be.
expect it to affect
I'd be putting my business over.
Yeah.
Big time.
We just built a 35,000 square foot facility. These boys are training harder
Place is
than
awesome.
anybody on earth. I mean, the business is
No,
the business.
but you're pretty honest about the Colts. You obviously
I have
should
no
be the
ownership
Colts, but you're
in the
very
Colts.
honest.
If I had ownership
No,
in a
but-
sports team, though, I want to let you know, this would become a propaganda show for said team that I have ownership. You want to talk about sellout? I mean,
Right
if
away.
I had ownership in a sports team, I would be this team. The coach is the smartest coach of all
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
The players are the biggest dogs in whatever sport that is in. I mean, you're naturally going to lean that way because you have a personal and a financial interest in it. So I think Tom will be able to handle it. He's a machine. He's a robot. But you're saying his ownership level is so low. I did not understand the Saturday tie-in. Saturday has no ownership in an NFL
No.
team.
Say?
What I mean
He had
is that,
pancakes on. Remember?
He did.
What I
Yeah.
mean
Oh,
is,
true.
When he was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
He was awesome.
He was.
He was
Great.
great on TV. Kind of pissed that he became the coach. They sucked.
Right.
And we lost out on the
I was gonna
pancakes.
say, yeah.
He should be back.
Should be.
Bring him back
hey,
in.
There's a chance maybe because we're back with
Can
the.
you talk into your left ear and ask if he's back?
Yeah, they've been putting AI inside me too, so this whole week. But anyways, the Saturday tie-in I don't think was anywhere near the same.
No, but what I mean is that Brady is going to be there available for Mark Davis to use as a sounding board.
Would be dumb.
Similar to how Jeff Saturday was.
Got it.
So, like,
Jeff,
even though Brady doesn't have, like, a vote, like,
Hold on.
I imagine he's still going to have a say and have Mark Davis's ear. That's what I meant.
Did Kraft know that Mark Davis and Tom were potentially talking about ownership? And did the Kraft family say, hey, why don't you actually, the team that you won with, as opposed to the team that you beat to start the entire dynasty, why don't we do that? Or is that never something that popped up?
I don't believe that popped up, but I do know that they're going to honor Brady back in Foxborough this year, so it seems like that relationship is good and headed in a good place, which is nice.
He should go in there with a Raiders cap on.
Oh, that'd be
awesome.
Maybe an eye
crazy.
patch. You know what I mean?
He does own the Vegas Aces as well.
Yeah, and they're champions.
And they're crushing.
Hey, the Vegas Aces are nothing to fuck with.
Won by 40 the other night.
The New York team has 6'10" Zahn who?
Yes, I also saw that. Yeah.
She was standing next to Sabrina Ionescu, who is tall. Sabrina and I, eye to eye at College Game Day. Sabrina also grabbed a drone that was buzzing our heads at College Game Day with her bare hand and broke it in half and threw it on the ground and said, I hate this fucking thing.
Right.
And I said, Sabrina, I fucking love you.
Yeah.
You are awesome. So she's my favorite player, and I've been paying attention. But, yeah, the Aces won a championship.
They
Yes.
did, which is why the Liberty went out and got B. Stu and Vandersloot and
I
some
saw
of these
her
other
at
players.
Disney Upfront.
Oh,
she was
really?
with Angel.
Oh, nice.
They walks by. I seen Angel. I met Angel. But both of them, so much more athletic, taller, faster, quicker than me.
Unbelievable.
And I was in cowboy boots, so I got an extra 5 inches. I got an extra Ian
I need to
Rappaport
wear-
torso
Yeah.
underneath my feet.
That's right.
All right. I appreciate the hell out of you, pal.
All right, appreciate you guys. So I guess this is it. I'll see you guys, whenever.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Because, you get a chance to talk to Goodell here. Will you let him know, come on, bro. Not
I
everything
will.
Do the right thing.
has to be lost.
Don't let
in-
Pelissero stand up and clap for that.
Yeah, kiss
Yeah.
his butt up there.
He's getting his guitar.
You know what? I'm going to tell
Yeah.
Pelissero now. I'm going to tell him he better ask a real question.
Thank you.
Hard-hitting question.
Are you going to ask? You were a little bit, scared in there, too.
Yeah.
I may have to actually be down here to be ready to go on TV right when it ends.
Oh.
Get to ask a question.
Is he going to be live? He's going to be doing a live thing?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
On NFL Network? Or?
Can Tom
Yeah.
put that on his phone so we can stream it?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be sweet.
Actually, I think we could.
Well, you could just turn on the network. It's on. We have multiple platforms.
Yeah, and Roger Goodell's the boss of all of them. I understand that. So somebody needs to ask him, what are we doing? Why do we do this? You're eating at peanut M&Ms. You're on your leather chair.
Yep.
Everyone loves you.
You're super cool. Look how cool he is.
I know.
He had Machine Gun Kelly. He was on the New Heights pod in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Made a joke about the script writers.
Yes, he did.
Dapping up players when they get drafted, hugging them.
What's he doing?
I don't know. Ruining the game.
We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we'll be following along with your Twitter.
Appreciate it. I will be tweeting.
You look
Bye,
awesome,
guys.
ladies and gentlemen. Ian Rappaport. I don't love that.
It's brutal.
I don't love that.
It was a
Pat.
good run for Rod.
You hear what he said? That concussions are up 15% on kickoffs since when? Since they took out the wedge, so we should bring the wedge back. They're up 15%.
Dude,
Or
any of those stats could be so many things.
We will never know.
In the third quarter, with 4 minutes left, with plays that are longer than 40 yards worth of running, this thing is this thing. And we've heard that, and I'm not saying that's what it is. I would just like to see what the stats are, how they actually are, because as somebody with these eyes watches, I try to watch as many games as possible, literally as many games as possible, because I don't want to just watch Red Zone. I like to see the ebbs and the flows of the game.
Yeah, sure.
I want to know who's squeaking by. I want to know who has it figured out, who's utilizing clock management in a smart fashion, who's using field position. Like, I want to watch the games. I want to feel the games, I want to see the teams. I don't want to just see tight end, touchdown, run, touchdown. I want to see the game so we can talk about them accurately. Now, impossible to watch every fucking game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games. YouTube TV, if it doesn't crash, is going to make it a lot easier, I think, because they got 4 boxes.
Yep. Quad
So you get a
box.
couple TVs, you got fucking 8. You got 8 all of a sudden. That's great. That is an incredible setup.
Perfect.
With the previous setup, you had to have 3 and then 4 maybe, and then 1, and then would it crash? Would you be able to? It's like, it was very confusing to kind of set it all up. I don't remember, unless they're just getting diagnosed on a sideline after the kickoff happens. Is that what we're?
Right.
Is that what we're thinking?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how they're coming up with these numbers because at 15%, 17 games, that means it's got to be one every game. I don't think. I mean, one per week.
Yeah, because
I
you add a
guess.
game now. That's a whole nother stat.
Yeah.
Back when, that's a whole nother thing that could get added into the precursor for said stat that gets out there. And I do believe, and I'm not the only one that believes this, but if you have like any logic or sound reason in your brain, you'd be like, oh, they're just doing this because it's not as vital publicly to the game.
Right.
And we can still cover our ass with this.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey,
Caring
we're not really messing up, right? Pat's still throwing 450 yards.
Still scoring.
Still doing anything, yeah, okay. But we're not getting a couple, right? We can easily just kind of do this number here. And it's hard not to think like that.
Well, to your point, too, sometimes concussions get diagnosed days later. So you could say, oh, this player was diagnosed on Monday or Tuesday. When did that happen? Oh, I don't know. Must have been that kickoff play.
Oh, yeah, and it could have been, you know,
Maybe this is bad.
walking down the street.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you're on a tractor like you're Goldberg and your head hits into a tree.
That's right.
You don't know. Did it happen on a kickoff? Maybe. Maybe it happened walking down the street. Well, what are you doing down the street? I was popping off at somebody. They punched me in the face.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where it happened.
Possible.
Nobody ever
Bash my
talks
head on
about
the
that.
concrete.
Just put it on a kickoff.
I also get it because, you know, money and how much the NFL makes, like at the end of the day, like that is what's most important to these guys. But it is like when you're talking about player safety and you have all these players bitching about like, hey, we can play 2 games on Thursdays in a season now and games can get flexed into Thursday. Like it's just kind of disingenuous to be like, yeah, but we're getting rid of kickoffs.
Fair
for you.
catch, though.
Okay? Like the kickoff's going away. You guys are safe now.
Fair catch.
Like that's bullshit.
If you have a little bit of a headache, you're worried a little bit,
Yeah.
don't have to do anything.
Fair catch.
Catch the
Get
ball.
the ball at 25. You did a better job than you would have done. We actually would like you to do that.
gonna be more.
If a kicker accidentally keeps it in the field of play, punish his fucking ass. Don't run it back. No. Like pull a muscle.
25 yards, you at the 50. That's already points. That means you 25 yards, you can kick a field goal. Because there's some field goal kickers out here who can kick it.
Tucker 66 is the
60
record.
right now.
Yeah. And it seems like they're giving guys more shots deeper
Yep.
because they realize that because the new defensive style, and we'll get to a break here, the new defensive style is the bend but don't break style.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, we're going to go high coverage. We're going to go deep. We'll let you get your yards. And then when you get down to the red zone, we're going to lock in.
Buckle
Gonna give you
down.
3.
So you're seeing a lot of long field goal attempts because coaches are like, okay, should we punt and pin, or they're going to get here 2 fucking plays in.
Yeah.
Right.
So like,
Just rip it.
why don't we just let our guy at least give a take here? And it's like, well, your field position is going to be bad. It's like, yeah, but we got a guy we might steal 3 here.
Yeah. Right.
There's a chance. It's like it's a fascinating transition of actual football happening right now. And the whole fair catch thing just adds into it. And I don't.
I'm surprised they're allowed to try field goals over 60 yards because what if there's someone in the end zone that catches it and returns it? Because
109 yards.
Yeah.
that could be
bad.
That could be concussion.
Bro, kick sixes need to be eliminated.
Because of concussion.
Or if you catch it in the end zone, you should get like the ball at the 50. If you call a fair catch, catch it in the end zone on
For
a
the
long-
field goal?
Yeah,
That'd
for
be
a long
sweet.
field goal attempt.
Yeah, so get rid of the kick 6.
Exactly.
But
Hey,
keep
you can't
the
run
kick
it
fair catch.
Exactly. Can't run it back, but we'll give you the ball at the 50-yard line if you catch it. And,
Well, and
steal
also,
it
I
in the
mean,
end zone.
nobody's really thinking about the kickers, but 60 back there, that's a lot on the hip flexion.
it is.
Yeah,
You
I should
probably
take those
should
out of the
take that
game.
way.
That should be worth more points.
Or just do 50 plus.
5-pointer.
We got a little guy in Cincinnati that can kick it 60.
Hey, McPherson's got a big one.
Yes, he do.
He does. He hits the ball real hard.
Prater.
Oh, because Carlson,
Daniel Carlson.
And Carlson.
he murders the ball.
Yeah. Well, and they changed was it him or Cole that did the
Kickoff on the back of the tee.
Yeah, they changed. They changed the game
Oh,
for a
I'm
little
sure
bit.
that special teams coordinator is super pumped today.
That special teams coordinator may or may not have been. I'm not going to say either way. That one might have been a part of the slew of.
Oh.
I had a full on, like, it was a funny thing because I am the only special teams person that's basically ever gone into media. I understand that there's been others that have covered kicks, that have gone into covering games and things like that. But in daily conversation of sports, I'm pretty much the only special teams guy that's ever really had things to say or get to say things. So it was funny whenever they kick. You know, we don't normally do this. We don't have the opportunity to do this. We're going to lay out what's potentially coming, and we're not going to tell you how to think.
But we need you.
But we would be very grateful if you would potentially say, this is dumb.
Carry this flag.
Once again, we're not going to tell you how to think, but if that's the reason that you come to, so they started laying it out. It was like It felt like it was a Zoom call. I don't know how they are. It was just one phone call, but there was certainly different cities involved in the call. Like, you're on here? Everybody's in this. It's like, all right, okay, cool. So they were like laying it out.
Full pitch.
And I would ask questions back. I'm like, so this means now that guys are able to run again on the kickoff? They're like, no, still not able to run. This would mean that they're able to have 5 guys back. And I guess the college did get rid of the wedge, but they still are allowed more people back than the NFL was allowed. So they're just not allowed to stand in proximity of however many yards with each other or whatever. 2 yards?
No, they could just do. They got rid of the 3-man. They're allowed to do 2-man wedge.
Still a wedge then. That's a shield then. So they didn't get rid of the wedge. So anybody that was tweeting me telling me they got rid of it, they didn't. 2-man wedge is still a fucking thing. But nonetheless, we added that back in there? So we are doing the call? No. No, we keep everything that we have and then add that one in there.
Oh, boy.
It's like, come on, what are we? And then you're like, everybody else is muted whenever they weren't talking. And then you hear like one person come in and go, yes, Pat, we agree. And then out.
Yeah.
It was like a full, so I'm happy that they're reporting like every special teams coach because that's what it felt like as it was getting pitched to me.
Yeah.
It was like, this is fucking the entire NFL kind of coming together here being like, if this happens, what's next? Like they do this, then what's next? Well, then the punt will actually become just the punter and the returner, and it'll be like spring ball where you just punt into fair catch, and wherever that ball is caught is where it's at. It's like, what is next? And then him even saying the XFL thing,
oh my God.
Don't even bring it up.
No.
What are we?
Please.
We're playing football here.
That would be terrible.
We're
Immensely.
Terrible, bro.
This is professional football.
Yeah.
This is the highest level, dude. There's strategy happening in your face everywhere that you might not know about. Who cares? Just enjoy what you're watching. Let's not change. Let's get to a break. AJ Hawk will be on the other side. Can't wait to hear his thoughts. He probably loves this.
Definitely.
Yeah, he might.
Less contact, I bet he's pumped.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says that the Commander sale, I think we'll get it to a point where it'll be approved. That's 2 people that have been in the room, Rapport not being one of them because he was not in the room, who have said, we'll get there.
Maybe.
That's interesting.
The hell's
Rapport goes,
going on?
wait for training camp or kickoff.
Yeah, they're just waiting for all this shit to be over.
I just heard Logan Paul has a video of an alien.
A real one?
Come on.
Yeah. Chuck Clark, I think was the guy's name. Allegedly.
Chuck
Football player?
I don't know. This guy's an alien guy. He has a video. Logan wore a pin camera into said guy's house. Was going to give guy money to do it. Records video, doesn't give him money. Logan said he's sitting on it for the right time.
Oh, come on.
A legendary UFO video said to be the most compelling evidence ever caught on camera.
Sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, that's hogwash. Release it then.
I don't think it's bullshit. I think he has an actual video that he thinks is going to do it. You got to remember, these Paul brothers are playing chess, dude.
Yeah.
He would sit on that for the perfect moment and then drop it out of nowhere.
When's the perfect moment?
Today. There's no perfect time like today.
Bingo.
See, that's how we operate.
Yeah,
You
true.
see, that's our thing. I would assume there'll be something that'll happen.
Oh, yeah.
And then bang, that'll come on top of it. And Logan Paul wins the entire day.
He could win today.
Of course, but
And
is
history.
it as big? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
It's
the
an-
first reveal would be historical, so it'll be big no matter
That
what.
was an internet report. I loved it as soon as I saw it. And then I saw him talking about it at the right time. I'm like, you're a legend, bro. Because as soon as I get that video, gone.
Yeah.
It is
Check this
out
out.
there.
Check this out.
Now, granted, he did try to pay said cuz who had the actual video. I think he walked in with $100,000 to the person that has this video. And the person said, no, I'm not selling it to anybody. But he showed it to Logan, and Logan had a camera on him. Allegedly.
Well,
I
that-
think that is what was said.
That says confirms the existence of UFOs. Is it a UFO or an alien? Because everyone knows UFOs exist already.
Interesting.
We already know when they're going to reveal. One of the presidential candidates is going to walk them out on stage during one of the debates and say, "This is my alien friend."
Okay, I'm willing to tell you that. Are they? And then what if they roll out one?
Oh, man.
What if they roll out one?
Crazy.
Little short, little
Mine's
one.
better.
And like a tall one.
Like a floating one.
Little warring factions of aliens.
And obviously, this is not all confirmed. Well, we are
Can't deny it either.
speaking in speculation.
Mine has 3 eyes.
Still possible.
Don't know if the
Possible.
3i wants to
AI.
come out on the stage.
Yeah.
Who was on the side there during Zuck's thing?
You mean the guy falling asleep?
No, that was in
The guy breathing-
AI
The guy
Save.
breathing out of his ears.
Yeah, I'm talking
Oh,
about
that
2
guy?
people that are on the side. Who were those people?
Yeah. We know, because they would have come out by now if they were human.
Could you imagine this being on an ESPN? How mad some people would
I
get
know it wasn't a motorcycle alien.
broaching this subject.
Whoops.
Can't have it.
What are they? They're not aliens?
Talking about aliens.
Hey, listen to this. Guy with a cowboy hat. He said that one of the presidential candidates was going to trot to, quote, one of those things out there and then be like, what do you got? That is how that's what it's going to be talked about.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then motorcycle aliens come down.
Boom.
Whoa. 2 motorcycles with a house in the middle. Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
Sin?
Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
They got motorcycles.
Yeah, that guy doesn't have human things.
Is that?
There's a better one of
I
it.
was like, why is it
That
blurry?
looks doctored.
That looks like Voldemort.
Yeah, it looks like doctored footage.
There's a picture of
There
it.
was 2 of them, wasn't there?
Yeah, with the green tie, and there were some good photos.
And the whole internet was calling these people, not the whole internet. Obviously, there's people on the internet that were not privy to seeing photos of this person, because if they did, they would have thought the same thing as the rest of them.
What's that thing doing?
That's not a human. Those 2, I don't know how they tickled on the shins pretty heavily if they're not aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Have not come out and said, hey, come on, humans.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Because they know. They don't care anymore. They're all just so nonchalant with it. They don't care. They
Foxy,
wouldn't know.
well, we saw that orange globe.
1,000% UFO.
So cool. And then, what?
What?
I ain't,
You didn't see it?
I ain't seen no damn UFO, man.
All right, see, everybody's
Pentagon.
wrong.
Pac-Man, you weren't there.
Everybody's wrong.
Did y'all take a picture?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have full video.
full video.
Right on his phone.
Yeah.
We've run it numerous times.
Yeah, it's on a vlog.
Hey, that's the sun. Okay, yeah. I'm fucking 36 years old. I have seen the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the moon.
I'm thinking I have. Okay? I'm thinking I've seen the sun. My wife even. You just showed me a video of the sun. It's 11:30 at night. So she's
Talking about.
So it's the moon?
hanging
It
out.
was hovering. Like, we could see it hover.
it was in our world.
Yes.
And then they were reported around 5 to 10 major cities in the United States.
Orange globes.
The exact same
The
thing.
only reason why we questioned it all is because Foxy was there.
Yeah, I started to realize that. I'm like, I wish I was alone for this thing, I guess, which is normal.
What do I have to do with anything
Foxy,
in this
you were getting attacked.
situation?
I don't know. I don't think you deserved it as well. I think you did an incredible job, but it did feel as if every time I said it, and I'd be like, Foxy was there, and then immediately be like, who cares?
Yeah, I literally filmed it, though, boys.
Yeah,
you guys saw what we saw.
Foxy, you do not deserve any of what came.
I saw a Chinese spy balloon. That's what I saw.
I'll tell you what, let's keep in mind the Los Angeles Rams
That's
are now
the
China's
moon.
team.
No, it's the sun.
Full moon.
A full moon. Yeah, you're
Who's
fucking right.
filming? Who's filming this?
Well, it's not me. I'm right there.
Me.
Exactly. Okay.
That thing is at
Where y'all
like
in California?
25,000 feet.
Yeah.
Where y'all at?
Yeah.
Cali?
Huh?
Cali?
No, it's coming back to Indianapolis. From where? From where?
Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah, because it was Raw. Monday Night Raw in Chicago.
Yep.
Y'all had to be
That does look like a
Chinese, man.
Chinese spy balloon.
I don't know. It doesn't look like China to me.
All right, let's get to a
That's
break.
not China.
China blinks,
All right,
guys.
listen, let's get to a break, okay? And I'm sick of it. I'm not happy about it. But that's the program. You know what I mean? People are not going to love it.
What can you do?
They'll get used to it, or they just will see something else.
We got Von Miller in about 21 minutes. Can't wait for that conversation. What is he up to? And he was in a commercial for Supergrass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He was in an actual promoted video for Supergrass, and the NFL needed to do it. I think it was like a letter to himself about how fucked up it is that there is natural grass on the field and how careers are going to get ended quickly. And you are going to have to deal with this because turf being on the field. It was a very heavy and like serious video. And Vaughn has been talking about this pretty heavily over the last 2 years, I think, at this point.
And he was at the PGA Championship this weekend with Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how his game's getting. He said, I look good.
Yeah.
And he certainly does.
Also, their season may have ended a little bit differently if he doesn't blow his knee out. And what was it on Thanksgiving against Detroit?
He was defensive MVP combo.
Yeah.
11 sacks, I think, going in.
They just really weren't. I mean, then obviously the DeMar Hamlin stuff, but they really were not the same after he got
Oh,
hurt.
the DeMar Hamlin stuff? What does that mean?
Well, yeah, like Michael B. Jordan suiting up and playing.
See, that's another thing.
Well-
I met DeMar Hamlin, what was that, last week?
Yeah,
Yep.
people can't say that anymore. I'm just saying what people would have said. I saw the picture. That's DeMar Hamlin.
People are still questioning.
Things that could happen.
Yes.
With this one thing that is so absurd to think that the NFL would ever institute it. Like, legitimately, you would not expect the NFL to put this type of thing in there. As somebody who's been lucky to be in it, a fan of it, and kind of study their moves, I think we've done. This is like, I think this is out of the norm.
Let's just not fuck up the game. We signed up for this. You know what you signed up for. We get paid millions of dollars to
Not
compete at
everybody.
a high. Well, some of us do. Some of us, we still get paid $1 million.
Yeah.
They still make $1 million.
Yeah,
It
if
might
you're good,
take
you'll
them a
make
year
$1
or two.
million.
They'll make $1 million.
Yeah, I agree.
But we signed up for this, man. Let's not fuck up the game. The game is really good right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there he is.
Is that AI?
It might be.
That's an alien guy.
That might be.
He's breathing out of his ears.
All right, let's get to a break. What does that guy know?
Too much.
Oh, that.
Or that guy.
Whoa. Maybe it's a camera.
I
Because
know
other than that,
everything.
other very normal looking dude look like alienish too.
Did.
I see you looking at
That
me.
guy's got 4 eyes.
The ear, that's a normal human. Come on.
No way.
Congrats
Pull
to
my
that.
finger.
No way you think that.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's human for sure.
That is the most alien looking thing I've ever seen.
Human.
They're onto
No
me.
way.
That other guy was actually Mandy
No
Patinkin.
way.
All right, let's get.
Look, he's got 4 eyes.
Yeah, that's not the camera. All right, AJ Hawk's on the other side. I can't wait to get his takes on this.
Yeah.
Why'd Roger Goodell do that?
It's a good question.
Why, Raj? Why?
He would never do something like that. So they said.
Bucket.
On my day, they're ruining football. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5.
Welcome to What Are We Watching? I, Doofus, will tell you, watcher, what is going on in the streaming TV world. Today, we will start with the Big Door Prize. It is on Apple TV. Now, I know Apple TV costs money. If you don't have it, you should, because every show on there so far has been pretty good. The Big Door Prize isn't very complicated. Mysterious machine, the Morpho, shaped like a butterfly, shows up in town at a general store. Now, what does this machine do, you might ask? It tells you your life potential. And it's not that simple. It doesn't say you're going to go there and do this. 1 word, 2 words on this little blue card. And guess what? It causes quite a stir in town. Now, this man, boom, is the main character. He's an Irish fella. He's pretty funny. His wife, boom, that lady. She is for the Morpho, main character not for the Morpho. Every episode follows a specific character in the town, whether it be the priest, whether it be a hilarious Italian man, Giorgio, who has a restaurant in town and is sort of the, I don't know, hero of this town, Deerfield, I believe. Now, you might think, where can a show like this go? Is it funny? Is it dumb? Doofus, tell me, what's it all about? I don't want to give too much away. I would say it is incredibly interesting. They follow kids at a high school because, boom, main character, boom, his daughter goes to the school. She has an episode. Boom, this guy, who sometimes goes as Jacob, sometimes goes as Jake, he has a very interesting story that I know you're going to want to hear about. If I were to rate this show, I'd say it's a 10-win NFL team. They're going to the playoffs. Now, do they advance? I don't know, because we're only, 7 episodes into season 1. So them advancing to the Super Bowl, that remains to be seen. But a 10-win show, boy, it's worth a watch. And that is what we are watching.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
See that belt buckle?
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up. They start shaking it. They go, whoa. Hey, what things are going good, Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able to. What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. 19. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair. That was a sellout, by the way. That was beautiful.
Do we have any other shirts? Yeah, hold on.
You need to go get changed before you get sick.
Great work, Russia. I'm actually not that cold. Hey, I went for it. My chest hurts. It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Boston
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this packed Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Hour 2 starts right now. Sports are fun. Sports have brought all of us here today.
That's right.
After watching Romy just puke all over himself at that funeral for the speech that he gave.
Man.
Not Jim.
Oh, okay.
No,
Never, ever
Yeah,
Jim.
Romulus would never puke over himself.
I'm talking about Romulus.
Yes.
Oh, I've had about enough of his fucking shit.
Roman is certainly on one, but when I was watching him prepare for his speech, I thought he was going to hit a home run.
Me too.
Something, sad. Boom, he goes in there. I don't want to give anything away, but once I started talking about sports, it did make me feel some sort of emotional connection to what we get to do every single day.
That's right.
We get to sit, stand, wander.
Yeah, sure.
Right behind some microphones and talk about all the incredible things happening around the sports world.
Hell yeah.
Wild.
And I get to do it with an incredible group of people. I get to do it with the Toxic Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt, one half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, Tone Diggs, and a man who has joined us this offseason, who has been a fantastic addition that has really allowed us to explore the space a little bit deeper, especially a couple different spaces. We get to talk about things like LeBron James and the Lakers getting fucking swept in the Western Conference Finals. Boom, how you doing? It's in Denver. It's going to be different whenever it's in LA. Same story, same exact outcome. 4-0, LeBron out. They were a 7 seed, okay? They made some trades to get them into playoff contention to begin with. They were certainly a surprise. But LeBron James and AD had to be enough to be able to carry them for at least what LeBron James is used to, which is into the finals. Had won 9 straight conference finals that he had been to. Now, he'd been to 9 straight. No, not 9 straight. He's been to 9, won 9. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? His career is an incredible one. Is it done? Is it over?
Whoa.
We ask Adam Pac-Man Jones, diehard LeBron James fan, and now a Los Angeles Lakers fan. Is that all she wrote for LeBron James, Pac-Man? And how are you feeling on this very somber Tuesday for the LeBroniacs out there? Brother?
A little down, brother. A little down.
Oh, man.
I had to hang this up.
Really?
Like it's almost time to hang it up.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Because some people are saying there's no way he retires. You think LeBron James is going to go out without
Getting swept?
No. You're
No
going to say it. Go ahead.
chance.
Say what you're going to say.
without getting another win? Is
No,
what I was
that's
gonna
not what you're going to say.
That was what I was.
You think LeBron's going to leave the NBA without going to every single city and getting a gift from every city?
He's going to take the tractor.
Look at
Another
me.
round. Another round. Another round.
Yeah.
And the reason why he's going to do that is because every field that his tractor went to sold all the tickets.
Yeah.
So if he is going to get a celebratory victory lap from all these buildings that he sold out for the last 20 years, I'm completely okay with it. I had a chance to go watch the Kobe show whenever he came to Indiana on his last time around. Everybody there, only for Kobe.
Yep.
Obviously, Indiana's a basketball state, and the Pacers are a successful franchise in the past and will be in the future and everything like that. But that entire building was there for the Kobe celebration. So if they were to say thank you to him by giving him a gift, it would have been well earned for the amount of fucking money he had brought in to every single team around the NBA. Joining us now is an Ohio guy who has seen LeBron since high school, damn near same age in the same state. He's a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. He's not a Ryder Cup champion, although he did participate and get a win in his particular battle. He's the champion of Ohio, Urban Meyer's cruise mate. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. AJ, how's
LeBron's not done. He's not stopping. He's not going to retire.
So Pac there was a little bit worried because I was watching the press conference live afterwards, and they cut away from Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves had his own press conference going. He's talking, and he's not. And screen gets kicked out. I didn't know that in basketball they did 2 people at the same time press conference, especially on the same team. Feels like probably split those up, but we're kind of watching one. They come right in for LeBron. He sat there very casual, very calm, complimented the Joker heavily. He said this is not a surprise at all to people that have watched the Joker, and he had massive respect for his game, which I think we all. That fucker's the best basketball player on earth.
What?
He's everything you need to do in basketball.
Yeah.
He's the best at. It makes no sense, and we don't know anything about him. I mean, we personally don't. LeBron said he did. And then at the end, it was that kind of sail-out question. I have a lot to think about in that particular subject. About his thing, it was like, wait a minute. LeBron James is it would make sense with how old he is, with how long he's been around, with how much money he's made, with what his legacy already is. He's in the conversation, Mount Rushmore of basketball.
For sure.
He has the championships. He's not joking. He was able to win by himself. He was able to win with people. There's every argument that could be made against him. He can go around for the rest of his life and say, oh, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb. He did it, just a kid from Ohio. So I think that was the big surprise. Like, maybe he does, but this certainly means the end is very near. Right, AJ? Don't you think that's the case?
Yeah. I mean, everyone talks about him wanting to play with Bronny, right? And Bronny will be at USC next year. He could be one and done. But how you work that out, it seems like it's a lot tougher than I would imagine, though. But LeBron has the power, I guess, to facilitate something like that. But no, I mean, I think when you talk to somebody right after they get swept or after they lose a game, the season ends, it's so final. I mean, you need a little bit of time, I think, before you can actually truly answer those questions.
He said he loves the whole process of basketball. He is a guy committed, like, you know.
Yeah, they showed him there, like,
committed
showed
to
him there at
games.
noon, hitting shots with 700 people on the other side of the court. They showed him when he got there so early.
Yeah, the press, the media, whenever they were doing the press conference for the other team on the other side of the court, he's working in the background because that was always Kobe's thing, right? Kobe's thing was he was at the gym before you were at the gym.
Yep.
You're a new guy trying to get into the league, and you're playing against Kobe for the first time, and you want to get a couple extra shots up to potentially be better. Kobe's already in the gym. It's like, well, I'm going to go earlier than anybody's ever gone. It's like, Kobe knew what time you were going, and he scheduled it to be an hour and a half earlier, so he would have a full soak on by the time you get there. He is done by the time you get there, just setting the tone. And he did that for like 15 years to every player. It's like that work ethic is something that they talk about with Kobe. The Mamba mentality is his competitive drive, which led to everything else. The early mornings, late nights, the studying, the cerebral, the him talking shit. LeBron isn't really like known for that, right? LeBron's just known for being LeBron, pretty much, I think. And like, when you say that word, it goes a couple different ways for people. Some people go, I hate that guy. And he's been at the top of the mountain for so long. I guess that's an easy thing. Taylor Swift says, who's Mac Jones' favorite artist.
Hell yeah.
People throw rocks at things that shine. So it's easy to hate on LeBron since he's been famous since he's 12 fucking years old or whatever. Then there's other people that are like, hey, this guy was anointed as a teenager to be the next Michael Jordan. And he had publicity, he had scandal. Remember, he was getting investigated for where they got that Hummer from.
Yeah, that's right.
He had a shoe deal, he had business, he had everything since he's a fucking teenager, which is hard to handle no matter where you're from, let alone having no experience in this field at all. And he has just lived up to every expectation that was absurd.
He's exceeded them. He's exceeded them. I was in Ohio when he was 1 year behind me. That dude, like I remember thinking at the time, like, wow, this guy better be good. Like, this is a lot that they're putting on him. And he, to his credit, he has exceeded all those expectations. And I'm not a diehard LeBron guy either, but I can respect like everything he's done.
I kind of am, mostly because I got to see the buildup as well. I was younger, a little bit younger, so I got to see the buildup from like he was still older than me as I was watching the thing. So it was a little different view as a kid for the people that are older as opposed to maybe younger or same age whenever you're at that. So I got to like watch him, and he sold out in Pittsburgh. I've talked about this before. He sold out Pittsburgh Arena because they were playing the entire state of Pennsylvania's All-Stars at all things. His school was playing them, and they won, and they sold out. And I think he did from
through the leg
on the thing, and then he's committed to the game. Like you would think somebody like that potentially gets jaded towards the business, jaded towards everything that has happened, jaded towards the game and what has forced him to. His only life has been as a famous basketball player.
Yes.
And there's sometimes where people get to a point where that fucks them up. You know, you see it with children's stars and celebrities all the time. It's like, yes, they've gotten to live an incredibly comfortable life where they're financially free and able to do things that other people are not, but also the amount of pressure that they wake up with every single morning to live up with everything that's being said publicly for them, their family, their people is a different type of problem I think that comes along. Although a lot of us who come from next to nothing would say, fucking give it to me. Agreed completely. But we've seen in the past that can fuck people up. LeBron has somehow just maintained being a human, like who he is, not stepping in any shit, really.
No.
He's made a couple PR doofus decisions, which is going to happen when you're in the spotlight since you're 13 years old, pretty much.
Sure.
But I think he has been phenomenal at who he was supposed to be and what he actually became. And it is kind of a shame that we're about to see the end of it because he might be the last of a dying breed who's fully committed to the fucking game, which is all he seems to care about at all.
And he was so good, you know. I think we as fans, as media, I personally say LeBron have been held to a way higher standard. He has been picked at more than anybody that's in our range.
Yeah, sports media was actually LeBron versus Jordan.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was actually sports media.
For years.
Like every day.
Every day. But if he don't have
LeBron's
40,
timing
LeBron
too,
ain't the
though.
best.
Think about that timing too with LeBron. He comes out as like social media and everything is gaining traction too. Like that's another thing that put even more pressure on him, I guess, that he dealt with that these others didn't.
And they'll say a lot of people support him, which is true, but you'll see the one burial a lot louder than you'll see the 1,000. Think about all the things that have been said about LeBron. And he is, I assume, at this stage, he's pretty
secluded.
I would assume he is pretty distant. We're not inviting a lot of new friends, I'd assume.
No.
Into LeBron's thing, but he has maintained not being fully jaded towards the entire fucking world somehow. And I think that's impressive. I think that's another full impressive. You could see how he could easily get into everybody hates me.
Yes.
I'm being used by everywhere. I haven't got to live an actual life. Like, I've never really got to, you go to all these cities. You know what I do when I go to these cities? I go into a hotel. They put me in an ice bath. I use these pressure things that they put on my legs. And then I go shoot. Then I nap. And then I do those things again. Then I shoot. Then we hop on a plane. We're in another city. It's like that commitment to the game and being able to handle it, I think, is something that should be added to the LeBron entire conversation, and I don't think it does.
Well, and that's like we saw that in the Last Dance stuff. You know, like when Jordan, by the time he was like, I'm so ready for this shit to be over with. You know, like I get to these hotels, there's 15,000 people here that want to take a picture with me, want to talk to me for a minute. He's like, I don't get to enjoy myself at all, or spend any time with my teammates. It's like all I can think about is the game and how I'm going to perform. And not only do these guys put a shitload of stress and like, I need to be the best guy out there already, but then like you go to these hotels and you can't enjoy yourself. You basically are just sitting inside a prison, just waiting for like now I got to go play, and it's like you could understand why it'd be like I'm ready to fucking move past all this shit.
I've only had one opportunity to be around a human like this, and it was Peyton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think Peyton was like very focused on remaining a human in the locker room, which I think with the power he had, that would have been tough to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like the GM, damn.
You know what I mean? With how competitive he is, with the ability to be like, I want this guy on my team, this guy on my team, like, and still remain like a human in the locker room. That's a tough balance. I guess Aaron kind of got to experience this as well, where you go in public, you're not in public.
Yeah.
You can't go to dinner with your teammates like you used to unless you rent out a whole portion of the restaurant. But then are you even doing the restaurant?
Yeah.
Right. You're in the restaurant, but yeah, I guess you're at the table that is the restaurant.
You're not living a normal life though. Like how do you can see how they become unrelatable at times. I think people have to like check themselves, and you got to have actually real friends around you, people that aren't on the payroll. Like that's the key, I think.
But congrats to LeBron being able to navigate that entire thing in the most exposed sport as the most exposed player.
And now in LA, like arguably the most exposed city too. You know, like I mean Cleveland, I guess it's a little different because he was from there, so it's the same deal. Like
I would fuck that up so bad.
Miami.
Could you imagine 13, 14 years old? They're saying, yeah, you're the guy. No. And then you actually are the guy.
Did you see that clip that was going around when he was from his rookie year when he was literally saying it's Hall of Fame or bust?
Yeah. That was because they were saying Wembayama is the most hyped player in the history of the NBA.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, he's not.
Yeah.
I learned about what car this dude was driving around in high school.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yep.
Because
Right.
that was before social media. Do you know why?
Cover Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, do you know how the word of mouth got to my street about this dude today? Because he was driving a Hummer. Yeah, because I learned of his sweet car, and then
So sweet.
you look it up on dial-up internet to go find out who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah, you're comparing him to Kareem and Jordan. I mean, two of the best players, if not the two best of all time. But also the game has changed throughout his career, and he's been able to adapt to it. Like when he came into the NBA, was way before the three-pointer Curry era that's happening now. But he just had 40 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists. Like this guy is
31 in the first half.
Yeah, I understand. Like there's definitely decisions to be made, but I think he has 1 year left with the Lakers. Bronny has 1 year, and then he's a free agent, and Bronny's getting drafted. Like he's not retiring. There's no chance.
Maybe this was though a little bit of a bird call to tell all, because the conversation we just had. Like, hey, just remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. These days are coming. I just put up 40 points. Yeah, I get it. Okay. I'm 55 years old right now. I just put up another 40, just like I have for the last 2 decades.
Need surgery on his foot.
I'm hurt. Yeah. Playing against maybe the best basketball player today, Joker. Like,
definitely.
just put up 40 still. I mean, this might be over soon. So why don't you,
I appreciate.
why don't we start a little bit of a different
How about that
narrative here, which I would respect and appreciate. Not like the fact that during the interview, he said, you guys probably say I'm lying during this too, but I knew this was all happening.
yeah, that was sweet.
He's starting to like be even more human.
Self-aware.
Yeah, it's like, here we go, dude. Here we go. I'm happy for him.
And if anyone does deserve to, go the Drew Brees route and make it about themselves one last time, it's LeBron. It's LeBron.
Dude, Drew Brees, I am so...
And Coach K.
What happened, Ty? What did he do?
Derek Jeter.
What do you mean?
I love Drew Brees.
Did Drew have a retirement year? Like, were they give him gifts and everything?
They stopped. You remember they stopped that
Stop the
game?
Monday Night Football game
gave
so
him
he
the
could take
laminated
his cleats off.
Bro, that was
The laminated
awesome, bro. Middle of the game. Refs even
Pump up
like,
speech.
Yeah. Kids came down.
That doesn't.
No, I don't think that's ever happened in any sport.
Because there was the year after someone broke a record and none of that happened. I can't
Brady broke the record that he
Yeah, how
set.
that happened?
And just nothing happened.
Well, that's because Tom deflated his balls.
Yeah, that's a good point.
True. But the playoff
right.
yards don't matter, right? So they don't even go to those stats.
How? But we don't know how long they were doing it.
Oh, that's a good point.
like 10
Do you,
years.
what do you think the dynasty
Well, no.
happened?
Oh, if we're playing that game, remember there was an article written that was actually a bullshit report. It was a witch hunt, and that came out 3 years later, so no one remembers.
Who
that.
wrote that article?
No, I didn't,
It was
I
from the
didn't know
NFL, actually.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna.
How
trust
about
them.
that Deflategate thing being a thing? That was crazy that happened.
That sucked for you guys. You've talked about that.
Yeah, it was not going to be on the receiving end both that
Yeah,
day.
I played him the next week after that. I
How'd
think he
it go?
threw for fucking 350 yards.
Well, that's because he got a better grip on ball.
You know in Seattle?
Yeah.
No, when I was with the Bengals.
Oh. That was the AFC Championship game. The Deflategate game.
You mean when
Was
he came
it?
back from suspension?
Yes.
That was the AFC title game.
It was championship. It was because Pro Bowl was the week right after.
Yeah, and it was 2 weeks of that conversation.
I went right to the Pro Bowl after that game. Me and a bunch of guys.
Luck.
We go straight out there. Yeah, we had 7 guys, 8 guys.
Yeah.
We go out there, and we're just trying to fucking get past how miserable that ass beating was up there. Media asking them every time.
Every
Do
play.
you think it mattered that they had a little less PSI in their bowls after they beat you guys by 75 points? It's like, no, we would like to get drunk at the Pro Bowl and move on.
Yeah.
And then that thing carried on for 2 years, AJ.
2 years.
2 years.
He got suspended. What? The next season he got suspended.
It was 2014 season. He played 2015, and then he got suspended for the first 4 2016.
Unreal.
2 years we had to get brought up.
That really happened. They came back to suspend him shortly before that season, right? And said, "Hey, he has 4
Jimmy,
games.
right?
He's out."
That was Jimmy?
That was Jimmy G, yeah.
Yeah, that was Jimmy Garoppolo comes in, goes 3-1.
And,
Jacoby
what-
Brissett
played
also.
one game. Yeah.
Yeah, he played a game.
Yeah.
Didn't Tom go down to Costa Rica or something when he posted pictures with his family on vacation?
It was a carnival.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He did a bunch.
No, they got a house in Costa Rica.
Yeah, they're a carnival. They get all dressed up. They do the
Yeah.
dancing. They do the paint.
Yeah, that's
It
when he
looks
was
like fun.
FTX
It looks like
Island
fun.
or whatever it's called.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hey.
Or let this guy own a
that.
team.
Got to get some investments back.
Yeah.
Money. The NFL just up and to the right. Right here. Very fungible, too.
Oh, yeah.
Very
You
fungible.
can feel it.
People actually buy the fungible stuff for more.
Yeah.
Building your bones.
Can I get the ticket? Please give me the ticket.
Exactly.
Can I get the receipt for the $35 beer that I paid for right here
The best.
at Lambeau? Hell yeah. Just like this right here, AJ.
Yep.
And then they're adding in some bullshit amateur hour rule. AJ, they passed it. Roger Goodell was lobbying.
Rod passed it.
Yes.
This is Roger Goodell versus special teams. I didn't want this war. Okay, that's my commissioner. That's our commissioner. I've been on his side long time.
He thinks it's a throwaway play. He thinks it doesn't matter.
AJ, don't you say you don't know what he's saying.
Feels like he said that.
I'm just telling you, if he overrides all of the special teams coaches, they said unanimously are against it. Also, what if is it a possibility that all these special teams coaches come together and their head coaches are on board and say, "Hey, we just act like this rule wasn't even implemented. None of us are going to fair catch any of these kickoffs."
I thought, you know what?
That would be me.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't. Then Belichick.
Yes.
Then Belichick, when the game mattered, would be like, we didn't make an agreement with anybody.
Yeah, true.
What do the rules say? The rules say we're allowed to. What were they doing with offensive linemen? Remember, this is something they actually do.
They would overload to the right side, put the tight end on the left like a guard or a tackle.
And they didn't have to report. They didn't have to report anything. And then they had to change the rule after like 3 weeks of it because the coaches were all like, "What what is this?" And they're like, "Well, technically, they are not breaking a rule. Now we have not had to create a rule for this, which we are doing right now, actually. But yeah, it's like that's what all coaches do. Most definitely special teams coaches. They are trying to find every nuance of it. You see, it says you can't hold the jersey. What about the undershirt? Doesn't say it. Doesn't say it in the rules, does it? So if we can get their underwear, so this is a technique we're teaching now. You're gonna grab pants like this, underwear, because you're allowed to hold the underwear. So now don't be grabbing any,
nothing else.
Any meats. Don't grab anything in the front.
Do not touch skin.
Or the back.
But you get that that's how special teams coaches and coaches in the NFL think. That's why they don't sleep at home during the season. That's why a lot of them, they say it's caffeine. Has to be more than that.
We'll see.
Verge of heart attacks at all times.
All the time, because they're trying to either study the rule book. Oh, I just thought of something. let me email the fucking Walt. He hasn't answered me in 2 minutes. Walt, it's 3 a.m. Your job is to fucking answer me. I didn't get an email back from Walt. Okay, I guess I'll watch punts in Seattle in November since 1945. And I'll watch every single one. And then get an email back from Walt. All right, thank you. Thank you. Well, that's bullshit, Walt. Okay, 3.5 hours, fucking Walt. And then bang, go back in it. And then you got to pitch now. Now you got to put together a PowerPoint to the coach of what your new idea is that you would like to lay out to the special teams room, and then you got to go do it to the team by Thursday, and there's a guy that just signed on the team that's never played special teams before. Yep. He has to learn how to do that now. That's what special teams is. So whenever you talk about a Mickey Mouse, no offense.
Sorry. No offense. You don't mean it.
Jeez. That's going to be tough to get out of the rule.
You got to come up with something else, man.
Nope.
So when we're talking about Mickey Mouse rules like this one, it will be exploited. It'll be made to the most advantage that any coach could possibly do it. We'll only see it a couple of times, and when we see it, we'll say that's dumb. And then sound mind goes, what will they do next?
Yeah.
Right. They're already talking about the XFL kickoff.
What exactly do they do?
So XFL kickoff is like whenever you're working kickoff, but you're only running 20 yards.
Right.
You know, when you move everybody down the field.
They condense the drill?
5 yards apart. Like, the old drill, like punt, kick, and then run all the way.
Yeah, I think they're at the 30 and the return team's at the 25.
Every special team coach says, I'm saving your legs today, okay?
Right. Yeah.
We're not running, but we got to get our lanes. We're doing it. That's what they want the actual kickoffs to be.
It's fucked up.
Who's making it's not DeAndre.
No.
Bodge can just overrule it and make this happen and say, like, he basically wants to test this for a year and see what the numbers look like, right? That's what he wants to do.
What numbers?
Yeah, and he said the data is very clear, and we don't want to get rid of the game. It's like, can we see the data that's very clear?
Yeah, right. Show us.
And I would like to know what the precursors are to all the stats, because we're learning a little bit more about stats these days.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of stats, there are stats that are alarming about turf and grass. Yeah. And there's a man that is basically at the forefront of this entire discussion publicly. And the reason why he's at the forefront of the discussion is because his resume is certified.
Mm-hmm.
This man is a Hall of Famer. He's a multiple-time Super Bowl champion. He's a defensive MVP. He's a Dancing with the Stars alum. He has a chicken farm.
Hell yeah.
Best chicken in town. Nobody beats this man's meat. Ladies and gentlemen, Von Miller.
Howdy, guys. Thanks for having me again.
Hey, thank you for joining us. How was OTAs? How do we feel? Are we back to healthy? Where are we at, knee-wise?
I'm in a great spot. 5 months and a week and a couple of days. I'm right where I need to be. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I could do more, and that's always a good sign. I got a great training staff here with the Buffalo Bills, and got a great training staff in Dallas with Matt and Melvin and all the guys that I'm working with Dr. Cooper and stuff. So I'm in a great spot, man. I'm just taking it one day at a time, and we'll see where we get. I should be ready to go. I'm feeling good, though.
Hell yeah. We're happy to hear that. Is it hard not to just assume that you would like your rehab done by the guy that saved DeMar Hamlin's life up there, the Buffalo Bills? Yeah. Like, hey, I understand what you're all saying, but also what are your thoughts on him? Is he a hero around there? He should be. What an absolute dog that guy is.
Man, Denny he is a dog, like you said. He's a real superhero, man. And I feel like the best thing about it, he just walks around like it's normal. It's the same Denny. Nothing's changed, man. But it's an honor and a privilege to come here and be around that guy every day.
Hell yeah. Happy to hear you're okay. Happy to hear you're healthy. Would like to talk about the video that I seen in my feed as a promoted tweet, I believe, from you. Pretty heavy. Hey, that was a pretty heavy message that you were sending. It sounds like the turf grass conversation is one that you would really like the NFL to have and consider. I think something you brought up last year was the NFL is going to have to change turf for when the World Cup comes to the United States of America to put grass on, because the soccer players said, we're only playing on grass, and the NFL obliges. Like, yep, you got it. But for the NFL as a whole, for some reason, they won't. I think that was a very valid point. And is there any further steps other than the letter that you wrote, and how close do you think we are to maybe getting a fully grass league?
Well, the NFL, they always do things to make this game better. They might not do it. They might not do it exactly when we need it, but I think it's eventually on the slate, especially when we put player safety first. If we're truly putting player safety first with concussions and all these other things, we have to consider grass fields as well. Just imagine this, right? Just say if the PGA Tour said, "Hey, we're gonna build these golf courses, and they're gonna be stadium golf courses, but we're gonna use AstroTurf in the fairways because we want to have concerts, we want to have Monster Jam, Monster Trucks, and
VCon.
We want to do all of these things in these stadiums.
Yeah, of course.
The pro golfers would be like, "What? No, the game was founded on grass. Our game was founded on grass too. We've gotten away from that." But I firmly believe, when the NFL, they do all the analyzing, how to make this game better, switching all the fields to grass turfs, it has to be soon.
I hope so as well, and I'm happy that you're the person that is potentially driving it because you're a superstar, Vaughn. You should know that. You have to know that at this point, and that's really how things will change. Go ahead, AJ.
Vaughn, any of the pushback that they're giving you, is it more just financially, like, hey, we need this because we want to have concerts and do all that, and it's easier to maintain, or is it they don't believe the numbers? They don't believe that, playing on-field turf, causes more injuries.
And have you had a meeting?
I specifically have not had a meeting with the NFL, but our union, the NFLPA, every time we have a meeting, that's constantly a subject that we talk about. Like I said, it has to be soon. Obviously, if I'm an owner of a football team, I can look at the analytics and say, like, well, we can play on AstroTurf. We can play on artificial turf because this is the data that shows it's safe. Then obviously the players were like, well, this is the data that says it's unsafe. And I think eventually we just have to get to a preference of the players. Like the players, of course, they do a great job of making our league great, but the players do the same thing as well. And we prefer grass. It's data and statistics that show less injuries are made on real turf, real grass.
Sign the petition now. Utilize hashtag flip the turf. Flip the turf.
Hell yeah.
We've seen those stadiums over there in England where they actually have turf on one thing and then they just transform out.
It's 2023. It's 2023. Like,
Come on.
There's so many different. We can solve this problem so easy. Everybody just has to get on board and let's get it done.
I mean, we got a lot of good technology right now, don't we?
Yeah.
2023.
Hey, I could do it.
Some of the best.
I'd say.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get the grass, dude. Hashtag flip the turf.
Flip the turf.
Speaking of player safety, Connor has a question for you, Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn, how do players yourself specifically feel about the Thursday night flex? Now, I think it's week 13 to 17, and you get 28 days in advance to know if you're playing another game on Thursday night. But how do you guys feel about that?
For me, last year we had 2 Thursday night games back to back. So we played on Thursday night, then we had a Thanksgiving game, and that was on Thursday night as well. So, like I said, I'm all for player safety. I'm also for growing our game to make it as big as possible.
Hell yeah.
And I know these Thursday night games are big time games for us. I enjoy playing on Thursday night. The whole world watches these games. It's the only game on. So it's just that happy medium. I can play on Thursday night if the field is grass.
No problem.
It don't matter. I will play on Thursday night. If I ask
Hey,
on Thursday.
give you some of these.
Yeah.
Need this.
Need this.
Okay? Some of these. Need this. That's business, Usually,
I mean, it's not just me saying it. I'm a pass rusher, of course. I'm out here. I have leverage on the ground, and I'm running and I'm bending. But it's not just me saying this either. It's other guys. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got all the big names saying the exact same statement that I'm saying. And the guys that before me have said the same thing as well. It's a better field, less injuries. Our game was founded on grass. Like this is our natural element to
Ronald football.
Grass.
Fuck yeah.
It just has to happen for sure.
I love Hot Ron. Ty and the boys have some questions for you, and obviously Pac-Man does as well. But I couldn't help but notice as you were talking there, and I thought it was maybe our camera. Because the internet thing. Because you'll upload a video, it'll be in like 420, and it's like, is that my internet or is that the actual video? You kind of give or take there.
Confused.
Do you have red contacts in right now? Are these those sniper contacts? Those videos you see it like that.
Those are sweet.
Is that what you're doing right now, or are you just having a time?
So we were outside today and it was sunny. So they really like shades. What? They're really like shades for their contacts.
What? You got sunglasses as contacts, bro?
Wow.
No way.
They're called Altus sports contacts. They make them for golf too. Yeah. So they make the dark ones for golf, and they had the red ones for like football and sports outside.
Yeah. So you are not a contacts person. This is just what you instead of putting on glasses, you know what? Fuck it. I'm putting on my sniper contacts on it. Does it have like clearer vision.
And so it's just like looking. You know, you have like those shooter frames. Like if you go ski shooting, and they have like the amber frames, the amber lenses. That's all it really is. Just amber. It blocks out some of the sun. They're blue blocking as well. So I really like them. I started wearing them when I was in LA, and it took me a while because I've been playing and practicing in clear contacts for a long time. But I really love these a lot, especially when I'm out here and it's sunny, especially on the golf course. They're the Altis contacts. You gotta look them up.
So hold on, you have prescribed contacts as well?
Prescription, yeah. These are prescription and shades all at the same time.
So if I got LASIK and I have superhuman eyes, which I do, I used to live that contact life. Sorry about it.
It's the worst.
I kept mine in for 3 years straight. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I hated it. Yeah, I don't enjoy the process of putting in and putting out.
Right.
So I just eliminated that. Turns out my eyes were very swollen and massive problems. And I had to wear glasses for like actually 6 months before I could get the LASIK done. But if you don't need contacts anymore, thank God I don't. There's people signing up just to wear those, like instead of putting sunglasses on.
Yeah, they got the non-prescription, version of them as well, and it's just for me. It's more comfortable. I'm out here running. I'm warming up. I practice, to take the shades off to get the the little water on the steam on the shades. That kind of bothers me. But out here, you can work as hard as you want, sweat, and you won't have any problem.
Yeah, you work too hard for glasses.
Yeah,
that's right.
What do you want from me? I had a contact loss, right eye in the middle of a game. Didn't even have backup contacts because literally been wearing these for 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Nightmare.
Trainers are like, hey, we have to have a backup pair of your contacts. It's like, I don't have it. I have not gotten new ones for so long. They won't fall out though. These things are as good. College into the NFL, these things. Congrats to those contacts making it to the league.
Yeah. Journeyman.
But that thing fell out middle of game. I'm looking at the world in stereo all of a sudden. Had to hold.
Oh, no.
Almost dropped it. I mean, full nightmare. I'm like, I'm getting LASIK as soon as possible. So as soon as the season ended, I go to the doctor. I'm like, fix these, please. I heard you guys do the whole thing. I'm like, well, your eyes are so fucked up because you kept contacts in for 150x the amount of time that you're supposed to have it.
Oh.
So I had to wear glasses. I almost had to go into a season with
specs
because of how fucked up my eyes were. Then I got LASIK. I woke up the next day, 2010. Felt like a superhero. Whole different world. Do you walk around and like this is what you see with those contacts on? Is this like, is there a version of that we could potentially get?
Yeah, it looks exactly like that. Probably not as dark, probably a shade lighter, but exactly like that. And you can just imagine the sun and everything. It's perfect.
So these are performance enhancing contacts.
A little bit.
How come Roger Goodell isn't banning those fucking things?
Are they transition lenses?
You know what I mean? It sounds like you got quite an advantage here. Do they go?
I mean, if you think about it, LASIK is performance enhancing too.
Whoa. Don't you put that on me. Hey, don't you ruin my resume. Okay.
And I get LASIK, I'll be able to see, and I'm more accurate, and I can throw better. It could go either way.
You go into a non-lit room right now, you're fucked more than me, or no?
Sometimes at night, they're not as dark as regular shades, but, at night and when you get around the house, you got the lights on and stuff. And, so I have long days in these contacts as well. I'll put them in the morning and I'll wear them till 10, 11 at night. So I have long days just like you. So I'm very familiar with that. But they're good, man. They're good. They're good contacts. They come in different colors. You got a dark one that's really for golf. So that white golf ball, I hit a yellow golf ball. It just lights up. So whenever you hit it, it just stands out on the grass.
Oh my!
They're really cool.
That one's like hey, we solved the golf problem contacts. Is that what they call those ones?
No, I still got a shitload of problems, but
but finding the ball,
huge part.
Finding the ball is a massive piece of the golf problem when I'm out there. That is, if you can eliminate that whole part of golf, boy, it would be so much better. Maybe a super ink or something that you're able to put on the ball that is trackable. That would be great.
That'd be super cool.
It would be super cool, wouldn't it?
Or if they had a little, you could press a button and the ball will make a noise and it beep for you, Find My iPhone. You could press a ball and then but that'll really mess with the compression of the ball. So
it's certainly what somebody needs to figure it out though.
Someone should.
Say somebody figure it out. Pac-Man's got a question for you, Vaughn.
What's up, V? I had those contacts too when I was catching punts. That's what I was.
Did you really? You were cheating this whole time.
Yeah.
I knew it. That had to be the case.
Huh?
You're cheating. Yeah, I knew it.
wasn't cheating.
Take back every yard this guy gained against our team.
Now.
I would like that in the record books. This guy had different eyes than me.
Wasn't cheating at all. Hey, question. The petition thing you have signed, how many NFL guys do you have that's done signed it? And out of the 1,600, how many of them do you have actually that's done signed it?
I haven't looked at the list of pro guys that have signed it, but initially when they approached me to be part of the petition and be part of this movement that we have with grass, I was initially taken back. I didn't want to start problems and this and that, and eventually I was like, bro, I was injured twice. I have 2 season-ending injuries on artificial turf. So I'm like, man, this is for me. And then when I did the shoot and we put it out, the love that I got back from all the guys in the NFL, it was incredible. Everybody was hitting me up, yeah, Vaughn, this, yeah. It justified it for me. This was the right thing. I always knew it was the right thing before. I'm always about player safety. But to get the love and the support from my colleagues around the league, from offensive linemen to quarterbacks to receivers to other defensive ends, it made me it justified me in thinking that I'm doing the right thing for sure.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, AJ.
Have you caught any of that backlash you said you might have worried about beforehand? It's kind of like Rory McIlroy right now with the PGA Tour. He's kind of put the tour on his back to fight the whole live battle on what they're doing. Do you feel like you're in a similar situation?
No, with me, I don't like speaking for my colleagues, but I'm sure 90% of these guys feel the exact same way that I feel about AstroTurf, and the 10 that don't feel that way, they're probably young guys that haven't even got to that point yet where they even start thinking about.
They don't know, Vaughn.
Artificial versus natural turf. So everybody's on board. We all play on this shit. We all understand what you feel like after you even practice on it. We all understand the difference between grass and artificial turf. So, to have the support from all of my guys, man, that's all I really needed.
Hey, maybe you put turf though in that the 23-yard line though on each side for the extra points.
That makes sense.
That'd be good. Because I certainly would love
think about.
I want the old AstroTurf. What's that?
It's 2023. We can solve this problem so easily. We can sit down and we can solve this problem in a couple of hours. Nobody's pressed for money. Nobody's pressed they're not saying that we can't do it. It'll create more jobs. There's so many upsides. There's so many upsides to just putting natural turf out there, man. That's why I firmly believe it's just a matter of time before we get it done.
Yeah, because AI can't take care of natural turf.
Exactly.
You need a sod father out there.
Exactly. Yep.
You need, you know what I mean? There's a little bit more human touch, a little bit of care.
Yep.
A little bit of appreciation.
TLC.
A little bit of earth, part of the game. Game was founded on earth.
It was.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not turf.
Not that turf.
Earth.
Now, as a kicker, though, I would like to let you know, and I'm not going to speak up because I do not need to add any excuses to anybody that think the fake stuff's better than grass, but you put me on concrete, I'd be pretty happy. Those onside kicks I could hit on fucking concrete.
Oh, man.
Boom, I would hit a jump ball on that thing. And then some of those grass, that's way too thick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm slipping all over to get that the fuck out of it.
Bowl.
So maybe just let me let the kickers and punters take out a little mat.
Like a
put
chipping
square
on top of the grass.
Like for golf.
Yeah, and then I think you'd have everybody else on board. I think the kickers would be the only ones that say, nah, give us but they would never say it publicly because they know for the greater good. But I think every human that we've talked to said, give us the grass.
Yeah.
They're going to do the grass for soccer. Why not just do it for the game?
Make it
I appreciate you doing that, though. It was very serious. Hey, that was a very serious thing. As you were recording it, was it how'd you feel as it was being recorded?
I felt, at first, when you do the takes at first, I had a little smile on my face. It was nope, no, we don't need that. Because I'm just a happy guy. I smile and throw a joke in there. They would laugh. I'm no, we need a little bit more serious. The tone of this message is very, very serious. So, I adjusted to it, and I'm so grateful that the opportunity was presented to me. Like I said, I don't think that it's nobody else that was fit for that position other than me. I've been in the league 13 years. I've had season-ending injuries on artificial turf in games and at practice. So I just it was perfect for me. So I'm thankful for the opportunity.
Good luck out there, Vaughn.
Go get him, Vaughn.
More power to you.
Thank you.
I could not do that. Ty has a question for you, Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn, last time we talked to you, it was right after D-Hop basically said, like, hey, I'd love to go play in Buffalo. I got a lot of friends up there. You were working out with them. And then for whatever reason, that doesn't happen. He goes back to Arizona and he says, I'm happy to be in Arizona. But then I think either yesterday or 2 days ago, he goes on a podcast and they ask him, hey, what quarterback would you want to play with? And he was just over the moon for, hey, I want to play with Josh Allen. I'd love to go play with a guy like Josh Allen. Have you still been talking to D-Hop? Is there any chance you think, putting your assistant GM hat on, that he's going to end up in Buffalo before the end of the season?
Josh Allen, DeAndre Hopkins is my real friend. So even though we're not talking about like contracts and coming to the Buffalo Bills, I'm still in contact with D-Hop all the time. But I did see that podcast and all the things that he was saying, and I'm sitting back watching, and all the things that he was saying, he was like, man, I want to be on a team where the front office is stable and ownership is great, and I want to play with a great quarterback.
Oh, here we go.
To me, it really felt like he was talking about the Buffalo Bills.
What?
So
Really?
It was a weird situation to be in. It's like, you got the girl that you like, and she's saying I like you, and then you saying let's get in a relationship, but at the same time, like I don't want to leave. It's like, bro, it's a weird situation to be in. So we just got to wait and see, man. We got, Brandon Beane is the greatest. Yeah. Brandon Beane is the greatest. DeAndre Hopkins is a Hall of Fame player, man. And, it's just so many different things that come in between things happening or not happening. You got the financial element and all of these other different things that come into play. So I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that it'll happen. But for right now, we just got to wait and see.
I believe we're talking to old McDermott tomorrow, Coach.
Okay.
I believe he'll be on the program, so can't wait to ask him about how the team is taking in OTAs and everything like that. And if you were to add Diggs, last question for you here, Vaughn.
Vaughn, let's say you're playing the Dolphins this year and you get around the edge and you got your eyes set on Tua. Does your mindset change at all? Anything knowing that he is now a black belt in jiu-jitsu? Okay.
Is he a black belt?
Probably. I think
no, because you hold the ball out just like this, and I'm just gonna slap it out.
Okay.
Other hand.
Watch out for the armbar. Just saying.
Yeah, because what if you go to slap it and he catches you, hip toss, down, takes the sack, but in doing so takes your fucking arm.
Yeah.
You tap out,
bro. What if he has you full wrapped up on that thing? I didn't even think about that, Tone. Great question.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
I would be deeply embarrassed. I would be deeply embarrassed, because the quarterback just hip tossed me and got me in the headlock. Even though I got the sack and I got the forced fumble, I would be happy about that. But, viral Twitter and, the way things go, I would be deeply embarrassed about getting hip talked about.
Could you imagine Tua snaps your arm after a sack? Yeah. Like, Sunshine goes like, hey, let that guy through.
Let him through, right?
And then boom, does that thing. What if Tua's like, let Vaughn in? First play. Breaks his arm.
I'm going for the ball. He can have my arm. He can dislocate my arm and all that stuff later. As long as I get the sack, I'll be good.
Oh, that's awesome to think about. Yeah, because, Tone, I appreciate you bringing that angle because all we've thought about is him falling better.
Right. Yeah.
And, having a better flat back and everything like that. You're thinking on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking defense. What about the offense that comes with being, what did you say he was, a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu,
yeah. That's insane.
We don't know if that's true.
Though.
If that was true, we would have learned that a long time ago. Vaughn, have an incredible afternoon. We appreciate you taking time, pal.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. Pat, AJ, Pac-Man, all the guys on the show, man. I love you guys, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on the show again. And until next time, I'll see you guys.
Hey, next season, we're going to have to figure this out, obviously. Will you still come on the program each week? We sold out. I don't know if you heard this.
Yeah.
We sold out. We are complete sellouts. Will you still come by the program next season?
Man, I would love that, man. I'm sure it's something that we can work out. We got enough time to get it all done. But y'all know me, man. I love y'all, man. I know y'all love me, man. As long as we put the love first, I'm sure it's something that we can work out.
Boom. Yes, sir. I was told.
Right here, pal.
Well said.
Right here, pal. We appreciate you. Have a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, Vaughn
Mills.
That team's terrible at football.
Yeah, they are.
They are. He knows that.
Do you think we're doing hook 'em or?
No.
No, he knew. He knew. He just did a thumbs up. Okay, cool. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
That's weird because I was told guests weren't going to come on our show anymore because they won't feel comfortable.
Did people say that?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that part. I was too busy me being
No, I was told.
the worst human on earth. Jeez, there was a couple of those.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them.
Very loud. Let's get to a break.
Don't worry about the negativity.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Well said, Pat.
Let's talk about the positives.
Von Miller and also Gary Vee said, love is undefeated.
Yes.
True.
What Andrew Schultz did.
Man.
Oh, boy.
Man.
I saw he was a speaker at that.
Very topical material he has.
Crushed
for his set.
As we read that he was going to be a speaker at that thing, I think we all immediately thought how it could go.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then we're like,
They know this guy's brand of comedy?
no way.
Is that the guy that said the thing?
Yeah. And then we watched the clip. It's like Schultz has got his fastball no matter where he's going.
He brought it.
You can see the wave taking over the crowd, too, like laughing at the start, and they're like, oh, boy, he's really giving it to us, isn't he?
His hair was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Looks great.
Oh, my God. Gary Vee sitting back going, is this what we is this what we signed up for? He knew it, though. He said, hey, all good.
Do your thing.
Gary Vee knows. Let the man speak.
That's right.
Go ahead, Connor.
Today's
Let's
show.
get to a break. Let's take 5 minutes. Let's reset this whole thing. I did not expect to watch that video and have what happened happen.
Oh, me neither.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Good.
Think about how uncomfortable he had to be. Like how uncomfortable the room was.
I mean, front row.
He had to love it. He had to love it going in. He knew the material he was bringing into that place. He's like, yep, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do this.
Good to see you. Great to see you. Thank you for having me. Good to see you. Good to see you. Go out there.
Yeah.
Boom. On the way out. Good. All right.
Never mind.
All right.
It was fun.
Good to see you guys.
All right, guys.
Just that whole thing
Yeah.
is one of my favorites.
Electrifying.
Yeah, that's special. All right, let's get to a break. Think about how uncomfortable it was on the way out.
Oh, man.
my God.
Couldn't imagine.
So awesome.
I bet he loved it.
Certainly, yeah. You got to be built for that.
Have to love it.
You got to be built for that.
Yeah.
Because some of those comedians that are just like so, the complete opposite way
Right.
of how everything, you're getting booed off a lot of places. When you do the stand-up, Jeselnik was a Pittsburgh guy, I think. Jeselnik was like, he was making some very, very dark jokes.
Oh, yeah.
And I would assume there was a lot of comedy clubs he would go into, and it would not go well.
No.
And he would just have to sit in that discomfort and then go right back on the stage the next night in the same place, all the way to get to a point where he finds his crowd or whatever.
Yeah.
That whole, I can't handle that whole real uncomfortable moment that has to happen. So that's a talent.
Oh, yeah, you got to have some real metal to stick with it.
And Schultz walking into a stadium.
Yeah.
He went into the other team's locker room, and the locker room was a stadium. And just went.
Yeah. Ripped him.
So much respect, AJ. So much for that.
That's awesome. I love it. I'm sure Gary had an idea going in. Hey, this is going to be good.
He had to tell him something. It was a little. It was. Hey, he was on his ass.
I don't know.
He had to tell him something.
I'm not
Pat,
sure.
he had to
You're
tell
right.
him
Maybe he had an
something.
idea.
He
Maybe
told him,
a brief
he's
outline.
scheming everybody.
Dude,
He
there
had to
was
tell him,
60
hey, look, bro, I'm gonna get on you a
speakers.
little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
There was 60 speakers. I don't know if there was a full, you know what I mean?
Especially, like, there was a few things. What he ended with in that video was just...
Let's get to a break. We have an incredible guest joining us on the other side. Absolute dog.
Yeah,
legend.
I don't know how to emphasize that anymore. Navy SEAL in here.
Yeah.
Yes. Here we go.
Also a New York Times bestseller and the creator of a program that took over the world.
Yep.
Right.
An author again.
What?
We interviewed him. I wasn't here for the book tour he's on. And he's been so good to us, especially with how famous he is and cool he is. He was like, I'm going to be in Indy anyway. You guys, and we're like, will you stop by?
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Jack Carr will join us on the show.
Come on.
Cannot wait to chat with him about life and everything going on in the world. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5.
Have a good time, fellas. I'll see you later.
I'd also like to announce that the toxic table will no longer be toxic. No, instead, there'll be the suit and tie table. Suit We're not done. Tone Diggs, who grew up on the same exact street as me, will still be talking about gambling, but not on my show anymore. No, only on Hammer Dahn.
Hell yeah. Yeehaw, buddy.
And last but not least, our show will be moving into a block format. So the boys in the back will have their hands full with the A block, the B block, the C block, and the D block every damn day.
Darn right. That was a lie.
We ain't changing a damn thing. That was literally the starter for every conversation with everybody this Up to Something season. Dead middle, probably, of Up to Something season right now. And I must say, it was a wild Up to Something season this year. Everything's moving and escalating quickly, and the only reason it happens is because you people watch. It ended with 4 significant offers from 4 great platforms/networks that were all represented by fantastic human beings. It was truly an honor getting to talk and meet with everybody from everywhere. I appreciate you all. I think I relayed that message enough for you to understand that all. A lot of massive news coming out of this particular operation, and it's the biggest. This is big. What I discovered in these negotiations that I represented us in is that our show is what a lot of these suit folk are now viewing as the future of daily sports talk. I think that's a really cool thing. A few years back, none of these networks would even give me a meeting. Now, we're the tip of the spear of what sports media needs to be in its next chapter. I'm honored that what the boys, our fans, and I have created has been studied, accepted, and ultimately seemingly appreciated by these multi-billion-dollar networks with hundreds, if not thousands, of employees. It only happens because of all you motherfuckers that watch and follow along. With that being said, the rumors were accurate, but they didn't tell the entire tale. Beginning this fall, our show will be live on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ESPN's YouTube all at the same damn time. It'll be Get Up, First Take, then our program on ESPN and ESPN Plus, and our show will be live on ESPN's YouTube as well. I wouldn't agree to a deal if we couldn't continue to hang out every day with the YouTube community. This show will always remain free to people. Just know that this YouTube thing here, this will always exist. It was actually a sticking point in some conversations with some networks. And now, our show will also be on in every airport, cafe, restaurant, house, etc., with the incomparable power of ESPN. Out of respect for that, we have decided that we won't be saying fuck nearly as much, but every other word is good to go. Shout out Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. They had a lot of success. He said fuck all the time. We won't be doing that because it's middle of the day, but everything else will be good. This guy's a loose cannon.
Yeah.
This part's important, though, for folks who were speaking out of pocket and rather disrespectful last week. Relax. We will still have full creative control of the program. I will never ever sacrifice this show for anything. Why would ESPN want to license our show and then change it entirely? That would make no sense. Why would I want to go to a place and have to change the program entirely? That makes no sense.
We're too dumb to change.
Jimmy Pitaro and I have had incredible conversations about what ESPN can look like tomorrow and how it doesn't have to be what it looked like yesterday or even today. The program will never lose its soul. The toxic table is still gonna be. AJ Hawk ain't going anywhere. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday.
My intention was to play for the New York Jets.
In the trenches, everything DB, Coach P's keys. Our show is still our show, just with a bit more reach and access due to partnering with the worldwide leader. In closing, we are insanely honored that Paisano, Jimmy Pitaro, brand new president of content, Burke Magnus, and the Bob Father, shout out Bob Iger, are blessing us with this opportunity to be a part of the next chapter of the ESPN family. We do not take that lightly. We're going to work our asses off to make sure this is a success, not only because of those fine gentlemen's faith in us, but also so that other shows, just like ours, can see these same types of opportunities in the future. ESPN will still have its debates and super serious and riveting analysis.
Who was on crack?
But all parties involved agree that the time has come for a bunch of sports stooges in a Thunderdome in Indiana to sprinkle in some fun and some celebration of sport as well. I'm back in this saddle tomorrow. I can't wait to see you all. I will answer any more questions that potentially come in the next 24 hours. Let's continue to do some historic shit together this fall. Let's change the game forever. Cheers and thank you all. I am eternally grateful. He's the new head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, one of the magic minds behind the Philadelphia Eagles' incredible run and offense last year, Coach Shane Steichen. Coach, how are you, pal?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Now that you're getting a chance to kind of shape a team for the first time in your complete vision, is there a way you're asking questions of people? Is there something you're looking for a player?
I just want guys that love ball, guys that are just football guys. I mean, those guys that are really love the game of football, those are the guys that have a lot of success in this league. And high character guys, the guys that I've been around, been fortunate enough to been around. One, they're really talented players, but really good people and do it the right way. Those guys that stick around for 10 plus years, they all kind of have that trait in common. If we can find that as coaches and as scouts and get those guys in our building, I think you got a chance to have a really good team.
You love ball, normally do more work because you're enjoying it. If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. Well, that also accounts for like extra reps, extra jugs machine, extra recovery, extra rehab. It's like that one thing helps out so much other shit if they love the game.
Yeah, there's no question. I will say that's one of the questions I do ask all these players. I want to know their weekly process. I want to know these college guys, their Sunday, they play on a Saturday. I want to know their Sunday through Friday, what they do to prepare to get ready. From every detail, when they come in the building, when they leave, how they watch tape, how they break it down, when they work out.
You can tell from that answer, I think, quickly, right, whether or not they love what they're doing.
Some guys are a little more detailed than others. Is it the end-all, be-all to what I think about a guy? No, I think it plays a part into how much they love football.
Guys that play a long time all watch film. That's what I've learned.
When I got hired, guys heard me say this, my philosophy is, we're going to throw to score points and run to win. That's part of it, but again, the flow of the game is going to dictate that. You could still be explosive running the football. You can create those explosive plays. The flow of the game will dictate how the game is called and how we're playing.
Throw to score points, run to win. You got bars, bro. What has it been like knowing that this is your first year going into a draft and there's a lot that is kind of on the line at the most crucial position on the entire team?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of conversations. They're still ongoing. We're 6 days away from this thing, and people always ask, like, who you guys taking? Well, we'll find out when the draft comes. There's going to be a lot of moving parts that happen in that draft, but we're just trying to find the best players that are going to give us the best chance to win. That's it. People say, what type of quarterback you want? I want the guy that's going to give us the best chance to win.
How do you find that out? Is it workouts? Is it questions? What about this S2 thing? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot about different tests, different things. We take everything into account. Not tests, but obviously who the person is, what he's like, personality, his traits, how he is around the building with his players. And obviously the tape speaks for itself, on a lot of these guys. And a lot of these guys have talent that they can play really good football. So it'll be interesting come Thursday.
Let's go.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston College.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this holy shit, Jack Carr is here Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Hour 3 begins right about now. Sports! Normally the conversation that we have on this particular program every single day, and that is AJ Hawk, who's a college football national champion and a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, and the current champion of just Ohio.
That's right.
Ohio donned him their current champion. He has a trophy. He doesn't have a jacket yet, but he is the current champion of Ohio. If Ohio had to be spoken for, this would be the fucking face speaking for Ohio. That's right. Actual Ohio champion, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys Town. Diggs is here, 14-year NFL icon and corner and rapper. Pac-Man Jones is here. Big Pac. And joining us, a man that we are lucky to have in our presence.
Yep.
Now, he will not say that because it appears as if he is still just a very humble human being, hardworking human being. It doesn't make sense, though, because he's badder than you, fucking Navy SEAL sniper.
That's right.
And he's better and more creative than you. Founder, author of The Terminal List. His sixth season, pretty much, is out and only dead available now. New York Times bestsellers on the way. No big deal, 6 of them. He is an absolute dog of a human. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Carr.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bro, thank you for stopping by.
Dude, this is awesome. I love this place. You guys got it going on.
Yeah, we try to. You know, we spend a lot of time here. You might as well enjoy it. I think what I've read about you is you get up into the mountains sometimes and do your writing. You're a getaway right guy. Is that accurate?
I need some quiet time, uninterrupted quiet time, which is extremely difficult with 3 kids, wife, dog. Anybody that works from home knows that as soon as you close that door to your home office, it's like a magnet. And no one wants to talk to you until you close those doors to work. And then it's dog, wife, kids, everybody wants to talk to you. I don't know what it is, but need uninterrupted writing time. So maybe that corner up there for a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, you could just kind of make yourself at home. We'll actually go somewhere else if it's
up to you.
If it's going to provide you to providing something to the world again. I think we will all certainly take that. And AJ, he has a door to this office that he's at here, and he has a kid named Axel who actually comes up and tries to run his actual face through it every single day. So I'm not at that stage of parenthood yet, but I do understand where you're coming from. Whenever you're writing these things, how long does this take? And I guess that's probably an amateur-like question.
Nope. About a year and a half or so. There's a little overlap between editing one and starting the next one, but about a year and a half. So when I start, I have a title because I don't like to waste bandwidth worried about a title, a theme that's going to guide the writing process, and then I write a 1-page executive summary, and I read that, and I say, is this worth the next year and a half of my life? And if the answer to that is yes, then I read it again and say, hey, if someone was walking through the airport and were to go into Hudson News and pull this thing off the shelf and read that synopsis on the back, would that be enough for them to invest time in that they're never going to get back? And if the answer is yes or probably, then I'm all in, turn it into the outline, turn it into the story, and here we have it right now in hardcover.
Okay, so when you're writing it all, we appreciate your time and dedication to this. Are you at this stage, because of the success that Prime's Terminal List had, are you writing potentially for a series as well, or are you just trying to make the best book possible and then let the series kind of take place? Is it hard not to drift into like, oh, this would be a 6 scene in Prime? Is that not something you can dive into?
Not really like that, but it's all about the story. So it has to be all about the story. I don't think about reviews or critics or if I'm going to alienate anybody or anything like that. It has to be all about the story. I have to honor the story because people are going to trust me with their time that they're never getting back. So that's something I take extremely seriously. But the screenwriting side of the house and the show certainly has influenced my writing just because I'm in both worlds now, writing with 100% creative control on this. And then on the screenwriting side of the house, there's so many people involved. But some of those storylines have kind of morphed over a little bit into the last 2 novels, particularly flashbacks and that sort of a thing. So I think of it in those terms, but not like, oh, this would be a great scene someday for Chris Pratt to be in, and it would be an amazing set piece or anything like that. So that doesn't intrude on my thought process.
I did hear, though, that you thought Chris Pratt was the proper person for the book, or for the series that is about the book, and that has seemingly been a match made in heaven for the first one. Are we getting another one soon, or what is the process on that all?
Yep, so the writer's strike has pushed things to the right a little bit, so we'll see how they deal with the streaming side of the house. They have to deal with that, and then the AI side of the house.
Okay. Whoa.
All right. Yeah.
It's AI thing.
All right, so we're going to have to dive into old AI. But you're saying, how long? What's the expectation, do you think? And have you been given an expectation? Because I think a lot of us who aren't maybe the most sound readers, okay, I am one of those people, although this book looks delightful.
What a cover.
Look at that.
On that thing.
Like a sunset.
Look at how beautiful that is. I mean, you do want to kind of dive into that, AJ, don't you?
Right.
But I don't know if I have the time. You know, you said like a year and a half, audiobook potentially, but the show is where I learned of the book. I think probably a lot of people did that, and I will continue to kind of digest. The next one would be incredible, you know? And you already have all the stories, so it's like we're not waiting on the story. The brain behind it all is there. Let's hopefully get that done. I think we're all kind of hoping you are too.
Yep. So we're about episode, as far as scripts go, 5 out of 7, and then we had to put pencils down for the writer's strike, and then we'll see how that goes. And then we're going to roll right from that into the second season of Terminal List, True Believer, my second book. So it's the spin-off season starring Taylor Kitsch from Friday Night Lights. Chris Pratt will be in a few of those episodes, and then right into second book, True Believer, with Chris Pratt starring in that one.
Your brain's got enough, huh?
It's going.
Are you like one of the most creative humans of all time, and have you always been this way?
I think it's just work. Yeah, it's just putting in the time, like putting in the time on the mat if you're a wrestler, or time in the ring if you're a boxer. Same thing, just putting the time on that keyboard and reading, building that foundation from that fan's perspective. So you're learning the craft by reading, by being that fan. So it's all about building on that foundation.
AI, what do we?
I don't know.
What was that sound? What was that?
He knows, because he knows.
He knows.
What is that, Pac? What do you think?
You ever thought about putting all your books into an AI?
Into having AI write them, the whole thing?
Next book?
No, because I think I missed that band. I think the kids coming up now might think that's normal or natural. Definitely not normal or natural.
Oh,
for
what are
me,
your
so I'm
thoughts on
gonna
AI?
keep that.
Good. Let's dive into it. What are your thoughts? So this is interesting because
Why
AI
you keep
Drake,
these like
we were introduced to
Oh,
AI
man.
Drake.
AI Drake is so good.
So bangers.
So good.
Like AI Drake made like 2 songs, and it was like huge.
Good.
And that was when my eyes opened. I'm like,
really?
damn, AI can actually make some really incredible stuff. Then they talk about like graphic design,
Yeah.
arts, logos,
Commercials.
Yeah.
thoughts, stand-up routines.
Yeah.
Tom Brady had one.
Crazy.
It's like, what are your thoughts on it as a man who obviously knows more about stuff than we do?
Well, this first writer strike, this is going to be one of the first union strikes that we're going to see that'll eventually have to be dealt with other industries. So this is a test bed, and we'll see what comes out of it. But from the executive level, it looks like, very financially lucrative to have a machine do these things that I'm paying hundreds of people to do. So they're going to, now it's not a matter now of if we should or we could, it's here and it's about management at this point. So for me, if I ever used AI, it would be more as like a research assistant, but definitely not to write or create it.
It's going to be a tag team partner, I think, at the beginning.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be able to do its thing. I mean, the shit we just learned about being able
Yeah,
to do for a show as we move on is
wow.
wild.
Absurd.
About how we're going to be able to find stuff that we potentially need, how it's going to be just like an assistant, a splunker. You know, we got Gumpy now.
Yeah.
Who, and you got enough power. Gumpy's been deported to Canada.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he's
Bring him
still a
back.
part of it. Hey, we miss you,
back.
Gump.
Miss you, Gump.
Miss you, Gump. Love you, Gump.
Love you, Gump.
Good luck tonight, Gump.
But Gump is our internet splunker. Okay, he puts the light on whenever
Okay.
we need to find something that has.
He goes in.
He goes into
goes
the
deep.
internet.
In the
He finds it.
weeds.
He's very good at it. Top of the line at it.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
important.
miss you,
There
Gump.
he is.
Miss
Love
you,
you,
Gump.
Gump.
Miss you, Gump.
That beard.
Look at that beard too.
Hey, Bob.
I mean, he's a good
Man,
We lost a good guy. Yeah, he's been kicked out of the country.
pour a little out.
Yeah, well,
Have
We had a
to.
little
yeah. If we had a little, we certainly should.
Man, I should have brought you my whiskey.
Yeah,
Got
no,
a
we
whiskey
got,
now.
we got your whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking we do. But he's our internet
Yeah,
splunker.
you gotta have one of those.
AI, Gump,
Kind of crosses that off.
they are.
Maybe he can do something else. Maybe he can be retrained for.
Yeah, he
something else.
certainly could be retrained.
Oh, he can do anything.
He could bring the whiskey right now.
Yeah, he
What?
would be great. God, he would love nothing more
Yeah.
than to bring the whiskey right now.
Yeah, that might be his thing now.
Well, AI does seem to be a powerful weapon. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it will never
Yeah.
have the ability that you will have. Do you have ideas? Do you write a couple chapters and then you think, scribble it out, it's trash, like Marshall Mathers? Or once something gets down, it's pretty much we're going with that for now?
Yeah, I don't have the right now with just how much is going on. There's not enough time for me to be able to be like, oh, that wasn't a great chapter. I'm just going to toss that aside. So it's all thus far. Maybe when I get a little older or something like that and the kids are out of the house and gone, then I can afford to write half a book and have it not be good and just toss it into the wind. But right now, it's I don't really have chapters like that. And that's because so much thought, I think, goes in ahead of time. And I have that theme that guides me the entire way. So the first one, like the show you saw, Revenge Without Constraint. So everything had to tie back to revenge without constraint.
He
Whether
did,
it was,
didn't he?
Whether it was
He was
direct
pissed.
or indirect.
Yeah.
About it.
And Chris Pratt, like we talked about, he was the guy as I'm starting to write this thing in December of 2014. No connections to Hollywood or publishing or agents or anything like that. Chris has not been in Guardians of the Galaxy yet, hasn't been in Jurassic World, none of that stuff. He's been Andy Dwyer on Parks and Rec.
Of course.
And he had this very small role in Zero Dark 30 as a SEAL. So I saw him change from this kind of jovial, overweight guy into the SEAL operator and I thought this is the guy that can pull this off. I'm going to give Chris a chance. He needs this for his career. And then all these years later, he ends up with a book. My friend Jared Shaw gave it to him, SEAL buddy gave it to him, and he wanted to option it, and off we went to the races, and we're all executive producing it now, and here we go.
What a perfect match it seems to be because he's a big
Yeah.
outdoorsman too and everything like that.
Yeah, he's a good solid. I wanted somebody that was likable on and off screen because I thought the audience was going to have to forgive him maybe for some things that he was going to do.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, and I wanted somebody that hadn't done this sort of a thing before. Like I didn't want someone who'd always played an action guy before. So Chris seemed like the exact right person, and he ended up being that person you want to have a beer with, want to have a whiskey with, want to have a coffee with, want to hang out with, and just a solid dude, solid American.
What do you what was the mindset or going into this one?
So this one is truth and consequences. So everything's kind of been building towards this over the last few novels. So we seem to have lost accountability really across the board in this country. So these are very therapeutic for me to write because my main character can take people out in ways that would put me in prison if I was to actually do things like that. So he gets to hold people accountable. So,
Oh, that's amazing. That's like Jeff Dunham, who has the puppet, so he can say the jokes.
Yep.
You
Wasn't
know,
me.
in the book, he's like,
hey,
all right, let's
that's
build
right.
up a situation that is really grinding my gears.
That's it. That's it. So truth and consequences in this one. So it's everything comes to a head. There's some very interesting interrogation techniques in all of the books, but this one is particularly brutal.
Go ahead, AJ.
How fun is it for you to come up with different ways to kill bad people on the show, especially, and in the books? Like, now, I don't know how much crosses into reality or whatever's happening. I'm just thinking of the dude with the telephone pole strapped to his body when he's out in the ocean from Criminal List, all those different ways like that. Like, you got to be pretty creative to think a lot of those things. Is that enjoyable to go around and really spitball those ideas?
That is. You got to get creative with it, and that's what you're doing on the battlefield. Really, is you're solving problems aggressively and oftentimes violently. So that is just very natural for me to also do on the page. But if I mess something up on the page, the consequences aren't nearly as dire. No one's coming home in a body bag. I can get up the next morning and kind of tweak it a little bit, make something that was okay, make it great. But on that particular one right there, so that log scene in the show wasn't in the book. That was Jared Shaw, my buddy, wanting to tie something in from SEAL training where we're running around with those logs all the time in buds. You might have seen that on TV.
Yes.
And we wanted to take that and tie that character's death into that training and into that brotherhood, into that foundation that we all share. And so that's where that one came from. But a lot of them are tied to history, like the scene where he gets eviscerated, disemboweled, and he walks around. So that was in the book. And in the book, I give a little history of where that came from. And then in the show, it was something that Amazon was a little nervous about. So having that in there, and it was because you send these scripts up the chain and then they come back down with notes, and then you have discussions. And they were a little nervous about that one, but they let us film it, and it ended up being the one that was all over the billboards in LA with Chris holding that Winkler tomahawk right there as he's about to cut this guy open. So ended up working out for everybody.
So he said, based on reality, and I think we talked about this, because you're a Navy SEAL sniper, hey, your resume in the military is a real fucking deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like and obviously what you're doing, much more serious, much more honorable, admirable, courageous. I could go on for a bunch of words, and I don't have a lot of words. I'm not an author. But there's a lot of words that describe the military. So everything that you signed a line to do, there's a lot of us motherfuckers that would never be able to sign that line. So let alone to go on and become Navy SEAL and top of class. And you talked about that training thing you got to do at Buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the ones I saw. I was like, yeah, I'm never going to be able to fucking do that. Because old Pat's going to say, I'm done. You know what I mean? So, like, you have been an incredibly accomplished, lack of a better, soldier almost, right? And I don't know if that's the proper word. I don't want to disrespect you, but you don't see a lot of people that are able to be that accomplished in one field, especially one that is as serious, as pressure-packed, as potentially traumatic, then to be able to pivot and have success in another place. How much of your story do you use in the creative? And you said it's like therapy for this. I would assume it is pretty nice to kind of get a lot of your thoughts out in this PTSD world that we're currently in with a lot of vets. Like, I'm not putting this on you, but in that world that a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, no, I was very lucky that I knew exactly what I wanted to do from a very early age, serve my country in uniform, specifically as a SEAL, but then also after that.
Family SEALs, or why?
My grandfather was killed in World War II, so I grew up with he was a pilot, Corsair pilot, which was the planes that had the wings that would fold up so you could fit them on aircraft carriers. So I had his maps that they gave aviators back then, silk maps. I had his wings, I had his medals, I had his photos of him and his squadron. So I knew I was going to the military at a very early age, and then found out about SEALs at age 7, and did a bunch of research, found out that by going down to the library that they were touted as some of the most elite special operations forces in the world, and then that the training was some of the toughest ever devised by a modern military. So I was in. They had me at age 7, and that's what I wanted to do. And then at age 10, I really started reading the same books that my parents were reading, certainly by age 11. My mom was a librarian, so I grew up surrounded by books and a love of reading. And for those who grew up in the 80s, they'll remember that most of the protagonists, main characters in books and on TV and in films, they had a background in Vietnam as like a Navy SEAL, Army Special Forces, Marine sniper, CIA paramilitary. So it would give them the skills now in the 80s when they're a private investigator or a cop or a stuntman or whatever they are for their TV show, movie, or book that would allow them to solve these problems because they had that skill set. So I started reading all those books in the 80s by all these masters of the genre, and that was really my education in the art of storytelling. So I had that foundation, knew what I wanted to do, and I was also a student of warfare for my entire life, still am today, because really what I want to do is be a better operator and a better leader every single day in the SEAL teams than I was the day before. You want to earn that trident. That's that pin that we wear. So you want to earn that trident every single day. So
Jesus.
I kept building that my whole life, and now I want to be a better author for this next book that I'm writing now than I was for this book. I want the next sentence.
Oh,
to be
so this
better
book
than the one
stinks
before.
compared to the next one?
Well, that's the goal, is for the next one to be better. Always improving.
I don't know. I mean, you somehow are doing that. Hey, this dude's an alien, huh? This guy's like a super special. Huh? Real legit. This is legit talent we're staring at.
Next level.
I mean, I would say so. How many books are you going to write? Like, do you have any kind of end goal?
Not really. It's I'm not against bringing the series to an end at some point if that's what honors the story, because it has to all be about that story.
Ted Lasso just said this to Rich Eisen. He said, we're not just going to have another season, just to have another season.
Exactly.
Have you struggled with that, or
Exactly.
can you make any story go?
Not yet, because there's so many things so many ideas that I want to explore, and our senior level military leaders and elected representatives in politics give me a lot to work with as far as antagonists and bad guys and this therapy that I'm talking about. So I don't think I'm ever going to run out of ideas or storylines for people to dispose of in very creative ways.
Hell yeah.
This isn't live, is it?
No. Dump it. We're not on ESPN. We're not sellouts. Ty has a question for you.
So speaking of all that stuff and writing the books, like, have you considered at all at this point, like writing your own features, since now you are, on like the other side of it and you're working for Amazon, or is it difficult because you feel like there's so much stuff you want to still explore with the James Reese character? And I assume writing the books now is much easier than it was when you first started writing them. Maybe not, but I just feel like this character's clearly like a big part of you. You probably feel like it's almost like another side of you. But like, have you considered maybe either right now or when that's done, writing your own features just independently?
So I have, and there may be a couple things in the works.
At
some point.
You got a sports show in there? You got a sports show in there?
There's not, but I can't announce it yet because we're not quite there yet, and things are on pause because of the writer's strike. So we'll see when that gets all finished here, see what we pick back up. But yes, there are some other ideas in the works outside of the James Reese universe.
Okay.
If you need a sports program to get violently murdered by anyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Please
You
let
know
us
a guy?
know. Please let us know. Yeah, whatever you need. I mean, we will certainly eat whatever. That'll be.
Don't matter.
We'd love to add to it. And
Nice.
we are certainly a group that you can dream up a reason for why somebody would want to kill.
Yes, exactly.
Simple.
I mean, that'll be easy light work for you. And Tone has a question for you, Jack.
Yeah, I believe we talked about it a little bit when you were on last time, but we didn't dive in deep enough for me. You said you did a lot of research on AI and in the military. Is that correct? And what's the future look like for that?
Yeah, so this last book, the one right before this, is called In the Blood, and I went deep down the rabbit hole on AI and quantum computing because I didn't know anything about that from my time in the military. Just like the one before that, it's called The Devil's Hand, and I didn't really know much about bioweapons research or what they call biodefense research to get around some conventions associated with those kind of weapons. So I went deep down the rabbit hole there, and in both instances, quantum computing and AI and the national security implications and where we are as far as that goes, and the bioweapons research, you have to interview a lot of people, and each one of them, because it's it's the national security space and they're all very close hold, they'll give you a little morsel, and then that's it. But if you talk to enough people, they all give you a different morsel. And so you can put this puzzle together, especially if you do your research ahead of time and have a foundation in which to ask questions and then build upon. So I would be very shocked if what I described in that last book, as far as AI and quantum computing, isn't almost exactly as described in real life.
What, are you doing spoilers? You're doing life spoilers in these books?
But also things are moving so fast. So that was a year ago. So we're probably light years ahead of that. And most everybody
Drake,
that I
you got
talked
AI
to,
Drake in that book? You got AI
AI Drake, but I need to work him in at some point.
AI Beatles too, bro. I mean,
Add them in.
You know what I mean?
AI Prince.
Next time, I think.
Well, then they got
that.
the holograms too of people.
Yeah.
So you can actually have concerts from old people with new songs.
That's wild.
Tupac.
That's amazing.
Is it? It sounds like you're saying not.
I don't know. I'd have to see it. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
you're the one who did all the research, though. You're talking.
mine is national security space, not necessarily AI Drake or Tupac, but getting ahead of China, essentially our main competitor when it comes to AI.
Well, they got those balloons.
Yeah, they got balloons. That's true. That's true.
I mean, I see hot air balloons fly over the lake.
Yeah, come on.
All the time. I mean, what is
No
it?
big deal. No
Yeah,
big deal.
it's easy.
Way ahead.
That's no problem. They're still using balloons.
Come on.
What are we talking
Wake
about?
up.
We have AI Drake.
Exactly.
Yes.
We don't know what computer created that. We're not 100% sure if it was ours, but here in America, we can get it.
Great computer either way.
You scared? You scared for the future because of it?
I'm concerned for the future for not really AI-specific reasons, but more so for a generation growing up that hasn't put the requisite time, energy, and effort into studying the past in order to make decisions in the present that are going to affect future generations. So more so in that respect, that we're distracted by 15-second videos and not necessarily respecting and appreciating what was sacrificed so we could have these options. And
Now you can
opportunities that we
Google
have
these
today.
answers, and then the answer
Well, you
that's
can
at
just
the
ask.
top
Now you
is
don't
the
even need to
best.
Google it anymore. We just AI. We ask our AI assistant. and-
Google
Yeah.
is an AI.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Actually called and made a hair appointment for somebody.
Yeah.
Hi, I was wondering if Lisa could get a haircut at 10 a.m. on Friday, May 2nd or something.
Pretty absurd.
Hey, there we go. They think how wonderful life is going to be with our hair appointments taken care of. Like, how much time we're going to have.
You're right, Jack. You're telling these people to do more research. It's like, excuse me, I got a phone.
Yeah, come on.
Set up a haircut for me.
Easy.
Okay. Sorry you guys couldn't figure this out.
Exactly. See, hence my worry.
There is. There is so much of that. Pac-Man has a question for you, Jack.
Jack, the SEAL test. We was talking last time when you was on the show. Can you tell us a couple things that you have to do to go through to be on the SEALs?
I need some whiskey. Oh my goodness.
Here you go.
Oh man. Oh, it's coming. Nice. So yeah, the main test. So there's tests every day essentially, but every week there's a timed run, there's a timed swim, there's a timed obstacle course, and there's other things in there.
Like how far is the swim?
It's 2 nautical miles, I believe, every week, and you have to improve your time
In the ocean?
at the ocean. Yep.
Oh,
in the
open
ocean.
water, yeah.
Sharks. Yeah. Well, the sharks are off of San Clemente Island. That's where you spend your last month.
Oh,
doing
yeah, they
land
just hang
warfare.
out in one area, yeah.
And there's like it's a triangle of death, and actually it's their breeding ground. And so your swim times get a lot faster once you get out to that island and do that. But the main test, oh man, this is awesome. I got a little frog. Oh man, thank you. Oh man, let's have a little sip of this.
Thank you.
What?
Thank you guys. Awesome to be here.
Cheers.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Cheers. So the main test, though, is called Hell Week, and there's 80% attrition overall, typically throughout the course, and it's 6 months. But the Hell Week starts on a Sunday morning, ends on a Friday afternoon. That's where you get most of your 80% attrition. So by the time you wake up Sunday morning and then go to sleep on Friday, you've gotten 2 hours ish on Wednesday, 2 hours on Friday, but you're in a horrible little tent on the beach, and you're just your body.
How old? How old?
How old?
Most people.
Are most people? So you're between 18 and let's say, I think the oldest you can be is like 27, 28 without a waiver, but most people are about 19, 20, 21. Right?
How old were you when you?
I was 22.
22.
Yeah.
Oh, you
But
had
it's, I was old man. But no, there were some guys that were older. But you want to do it much older than that because I hear that the body just can't really take staying up a whole week, and you're carrying those logs the whole time, carrying these boats on your head the whole time. You're on the verge of hypothermia.
Hey, that's never going to stop, right? Because we do get worried about the next generation.
Yeah.
We're always going to have those motherfuckers, right? We're always going to have those.
Let's hope so. I mean, you never know how the trickle down, how the standards are changed to meet some sort of a goal or whatever. So I don't know. I hope not.
Sounds like you're pumped.
But I don't think that you couldn't create that kind of a program today. Same thing with the Special Forces Q course, Army Ranger. So if you were to create this program today, you'd walk in and you'd talk to a commanding officer of some sort, an admiral, whatever, and say, hey, I want to create this, in this case, a SEAL team. I want to have this 6-month training program where every now and again someone's going to die, but we're going to have this thing called Hell Week. We're going to keep them awake for an entire week, and we're going to have them on the verge of hypothermia, and we're going to about 80% attrition, and we're going to see who's tough enough to make it through this thing. Like, you couldn't brief that today and get the thumbs up on it. The only reason that these programs exist is because they're legacy programs and they've existed for so long. So will they exist into the future without changes? I don't know.
We've seen the benefit of it, though, right?
Yeah, I think
so. We just kind of forget about it. You think that's kind of what the problem is? And
I think they need more people, but you have less people coming in because you have parents and people that are 16, 17, 18 watching us leave Afghanistan and ask the question. We had 20 years to prepare for this eventuality, and this is the best the United States could do. Maybe as a parent, I'm not going to encourage my child. In fact, I might discourage them from going in. So we have a recruiting problem right now, and only time will tell.
those recruiters at the mall were awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
solid,
the
huh?
recruiters at the mall were awesome. I signed my
How
friend
close
up.
were you?
No, I was going to go to sports. I'm not tough enough. I was not. I knew
They didn't get you, those mall recruiters?
I signed my friend up, actually. And,
That's a smart move. That's the way to go.
showed up at the house.
Nice.
Sister of kid cried her eyes out, thought he was
going.
He's going away?
Yeah, and I was actually there as it happened. I had to be like, this is all a mistake.
So sorry.
Hadley, I'm
I
just
did
kidding.
They didn't leave with him right there. They didn't walk out.
No, and he had a back issue. I believe he wasn't actually able to do it, but I did watch the whole situation unfold, and it was 1,000% my fault. I felt like a bad guy.
That's pretty good, though.
But thank you.
Yeah, solid.
Not bad.
Solid move.
Address, birth date,
Perfect.
everything.
Number.
And it was because how adamant the recruiter was and how much I respected I didn't hate the recruiter. Recruiter was a good person, but felt like, the only way to get out of this is if there's a successful operation here. So I signed Chris Larman up for the Air Force, and it just kind of...
Has he been in for, 15, 20 years now?
I felt terrible about that one afterwards. I stopped that whole gimmick, but that feels like that's not a real thing anymore. Is that because people aren't... I go to the mall, I don't see a single...
No, yeah.
I don't see a single... Like, how does the military kind of get up with recruiting?
That is a good question, but they have the
Top Gun
recruiting
Maverick.
stations, and I think they still go to places, and they do the high schools and colleges and stuff like that.
Ohio, I guess. You just got to go to Ohio.
Yeah, just stay in Ohio.
Just give us every kid
We're
in
there.
Ohio. You
You said it, Maverick probably recruited.
Yeah, Maverick. Like I assume that actually did quite a bit for because I know the original Top
In the 80s
Gun,
it
right?
did.
Yeah.
I don't know about this this
How'd you
last
feel
one.
about this most
Oh,
recent?
it was awesome. This last one was so much fun to get back in the theater and watch that movie. I had a blast.
Hell yeah.
Do you think about whenever you see those planes turn that corner in the valley with the creek? And I assume that's real, right?
Yeah, DC was piloting them.
Are they able to do that?
I'm not sure. I don't know much about that sort of thing, but it looks awful like Star Wars, like into the Death Star, kind of going through all those things with the X-wing fighter, very similar. But I mean, so with such high expectations for that movie, Skydance did it. They did an amazing job with that one. Knocked it out of the park. When you have expectations that high from something that was so iconic back in 1986, and then you knock it out of the park in the way that
First movie back, too, after like COVID, pretty much, right?
Legit saved the theater industry.
Who said that?
That's what Steven Spielberg.
Steven
told
Spielberg, I saw
TV,
that.
yeah. Tom.
That
You
was
guys
nice.
you talk to a bunch of other show writers and people like that? Are you guys in a little community?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess it opens some doors. And once you are an executive producer on something, just like in any other industry, people talk. And if you've added value to a show or to a film or whatever it might be, people talk. So it has opened a few.
Any
other
random
doors.
text from people you're like, holy shit.
It was a cool one. So this is I don't get starstruck too often, but Sylvester Stallone wanted to talk.
Rocky.
Yeah.
Sly.
So that was close. A child of the 80s, growing up with Rocky and Rambo, like this was a huge deal for me. And so I do the Zoom thing and I'm trying to act cool and take a little picture off to the side so I can do that. But he wanted to talk about a project. And I'll tell you what, he was kind, he was wise, he was humble, he was funny, and he was just, exceeded all expectations and was so
Charming.
awesome. Yeah, amazing.
Everything. He's got a reality show coming on, I do believe.
That's right. I want to watch
Tulsa
that.
King.
Yeah. That's a documentary.
Oh, okay.
That's a documentary.
He does have a reality show about his family, though, and his daughters.
Actually coming out, I saw it the other day because they just had Rocky's face. Hey, and then his whole family, We Are the New reality show. It's very...
But what a great role model for a kid growing up. You see that. You're knocked down. Rocky, all those iconic characters that he played during the 80s, but specifically Rocky, what a great lesson to teach kids.
Do you feel an obligation to do that with some of your stuff?
Well, I hope I'm doing that with some of it because people are drawn to those kind of characters, and we're all getting knocked down in life. So if you have a character that gets knocked down, you can somehow feel a kinship to through whether it's written word or it's on the screen, and you can identify with that. And then when you're in that tough place, it helps you, even if it's just by a degree. Rocky, I think, helped people more than just by a degree.
Hell yeah.
Because it was
transformed lives.
Yeah, I think it did. I think it really did.
So I've been approached a couple times now that our show has gotten so dumbly large. Our show is so fucking stupid, Jackie. Do you know that?
Well, stupid large, you mean? Or
bingo.
Part of it.
And it's everything about it, Jack. Very dumb. Look at you. You're sitting on a roller table that would probably break at any moment that we just put a little tarp over top.
A little dicey.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit.
The wheel stopper thing doesn't even work.
Maybe with the new deal, they can lock the wheels or something.
No, because if we do that, then we're changing everything.
And sell out.
Yeah, sell out. Exactly, Jack.
I saw.
Get it.
I saw.
Yeah, you get it, Jack. Yeah, I got absolutely slaughtered for that. But I've been approached to write some books now.
Nice.
They're asking me if I'd like to write a book, and that's a lot of time, and I have a lot of respect for the people that do it because I know the amount of effort. Now, I've read a couple of these children's books because I got a baby. These motherfuckers need not saying they are creative or talented at all. Okay, these stories are terrible. And if I didn't read these stories myself, if I would have met somebody that was a child's author at a thing, I would have thought immediately, very talented human being. I would have just naturally done that. Then you read the story, you're like, Okay.
What the hell?
We can do 50 of these literally by tomorrow if we had to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
later
that
this
is
afternoon.
But I think like hard work needs to be something that is kind of like
Yeah.
championed again. Don't you
Oh
think
yeah,
that's kind
I
of
mean that's why
something?
Mike Rowe is doing such great work with what he
Jocko's
does.
books.
And Jocko's books, exactly. Way of the
Jocko's
Warrior
got a kid
Kid.
book.
Really, I didn't know that. I need to look into that. But like I've been asked, like if you wanted to write something that was like a tale or something, like, what would it be about? I'm like, I think like hard work would be a cool thing because
That's it.
I think there is a generation that's getting back to it, and I think everything's cyclical. But there came a time where people were like, "No, I'm not doing that," and that became like a cool thing.
Oh, yeah.
To not want to work. It's like, what are we here for? Aren't we here to like do stuff, get better, grow?
Exactly. I
Whole
can
thing.
guarantee that if you don't put in the hard work, you're not going to get where you want to go. But I can't guarantee even if you do put it in that you're going to get there. But if you don't, you're certainly not going to get where you want to go. So it's tough when people don't want to put in that hard work, or you have Instagram and you have these expectations of things happening immediately because
Overnight.
you're seeing a second snapshot of all these people. That's an advertisement, whether it's somebody's personal account or a business account. It's all an advertisement, and it's all trying to elicit some sort of a reaction from you. So, and very few of them are talking about putting in that work. Jocko being an example of somebody who does. But you gotta put in that
even
work.
like you talk about like the Kardashians, they work their fucking asses off.
Big time.
Like their work is not like anywhere near saving the world, but that's like they are working to get all that. And I think people just see him talking about like drama and bullshit. It's like, yeah, to get to that point, the amount of storytelling and effort that has had to go into that whole thing. And I think it just kind of gets passed over by a lot of people. And it's like, I'm looking at my daughter right now, who's a couple weeks old, and I'm like, what do I? Well, I want her to be sweet. I want her to be a nice person. I want her to be a thankful person, but also like, I would like her to be a hardworking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is almost like something I find very important. So it's amazing thinking about how much influence you have with these books, and it's interesting to hear you kind of shape the thoughts in your head. And do you judge the children's books authors?
I mean, it's been a while because the kids are a little older right now, but they certainly have their place. Which one did you read? Like Goodnight Moon, or what are you reading?
It was Peter Cottontail, I think.
Classic. Classic.
No character development.
Well, you know.
No, nothing. Okay?
Yeah.
And they say, well, the baby can't understand it. It's like, well, I can. This is crop.
Yeah.
This is absolute crop. AJ for Jack Carr. Go ahead, pal.
Jack, I was wondering if people will send you garbage scripts and garbage ideas for books. Like now you're such an accomplished writer. Are people sending you stuff all the time trying to get you to collaborate?
They are, and it's there's so much going on right now. It's hard to just say that I don't have time to read this because some of them might be great. But yeah, there's a lot of incoming these days. A lot of asks.
New friends.
Which but I feel very fortunate that I'm in that position every single day. I feel extremely fortunate. But yeah, there's a lot of incoming, I would say. But
once that stops,
I have a lot of exactly.
Once that stops.
But yeah, I have a lot of my own projects that I'm juggling right now. So luckily, it's not something that I'm sifting through day by day. But there is a lot of incoming, and I appreciate
You stay in shape?
it.
Stay in shape with all the shit you
Not
do?
really. If you mean staying up late and drinking whiskey, getting up early, drinking coffee, it's just how it goes. It's just how
Caffeine
it
in the
goes.
morning, a little booze at night.
You don't want to flip those. So as soon as I flip those, then that's when I need to take a pause. you know?
People sit you down in a room to care about you.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we've been meaning to talk.
Need a change.
Yeah. So at least you know, though. At least I know if I flip those, then that it's time to take a breath and reevaluate some things.
So you diet or you just don't eat, or what do you do?
So let's say sleep, nutrition, and workouts fell to the bottom of the priority list, and by that I mean pretty much off the priority list because there's so many things going on. But I'll get back to it at some point. But right now, it's
You earned this, though.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
earned
Well,
this ability not to
thank
sleep,
you.
eat, and take care of yourself.
Right. The all-nighters are tougher, though, now at this stage. Like the last, every book I've done a couple all-nighters. This one, I did 3 all-nighters over about a week and a half time period. Different than just 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I could pull an all-nighter,
You're
no
old,
big deal.
bro. You see all the gray in there.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah, a little
A lot of
more
success.
a little
Mhm.
more gray. So it's
Got a spin-off show already.
Yeah.
spin-off show.
Got a spin-off show.
Yeah, it's good.
Got one
spin-off
show.
show is looking good. It's the more international espionage. Like the first show was
Hell yeah.
like a
CIA.
revenge thriller,
Taylor
conspiracy
Kitsch.
thriller, action thriller. This one with Taylor Kitsch and Chris Pratt's in them as well. But this is more international espionage, taking Taylor Kitsch's character Ben Edwards from the SEAL teams into the CIA and going international.
we're talking.
It's good. It's good.
And then, but good news is, he's doing all his research on CIA now.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. No.
So, we'll be able to learn a lot of stuff about CIA, which a lot of people will immediately go, what is it? What are they?
Holy shit.
Oh, they got to. So now he's going to do a full interview process, and he's going to have it all in there. So thank you for making us all much smarter. Look at that.
Well, and speaking of that, there's new nonfiction coming out too. So about a year and a half, and working on that with a historian, Pulitzer Prize finalist James Scott, amazing guy, writes primarily about World War II. But my first nonfiction is part of a series. First one exploring the 1983 Beirut barracks bombing in Beirut, Lebanon, where the Marines lost more people in a single day than they'd lost since Iwo Jima in World War II. Damn. So diving into that, there's some newly declassified documents from the Reagan administration that talk about who was advocating to put Marines ashore in Beirut, who wanted to keep them on amphib ships, how that decision was made, how the decision was made to leave Beirut after that happened in early 1984.
So, and those are all becoming docuseries.
So we'll see about that, but it's a book for sure at this point, and that's coming out in about
Definitely going to become a docuseries. You're a wizard, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know how you have enough time. I guess you're pulling all night. 3 all-nighters to do this book. Oh, also, I'm telling a whole story that nobody ever told before. That's pretty pivotal to our American history and everything else.
Yeah.
Got got a movie feature coming out as well. Spinoff. Well, this one, international CIA stuff. Oh, and then also still got James Reese. It's unbelievable what you're accomplishing right now.
Thank you. Well, same with you guys. You guys are crushing it. I love seeing this. I love seeing you guys get together. It's awesome.
All right, so we covered AI. There's also a lot of reports of alien activity around military bases. Have you talked about any of that in your travels, interviews, everything that you've gone through in your life? Anything you could dive into with us about
right
that?
now? Breaking news.
Yeah, other than it just being so incredible that it's in the news, people are in front of Congress testifying about things. And it's just like a blip on all our radar. If this had happened in 1985, 1990, this is all we would be talking about right now. That there's the possibility that aliens have been visiting us since whenever, and now we're just like, oh yeah, aliens. Okay, and what's next? Like that is the part.
That's what it was.
So that's how you view it, huh? You view aliens have been visiting us for a long time.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. But
that's what I just heard.
What's crazy is that it's just like another thing in the news. It's just like another thing. It's not the only thing. It should be probably the only thing we're talking about.
Jack, look,
Here we go.
Jack.
Oh, what's that? Who's this guy?
That was at Zuckerberg's trial. Or whatever.
Breathing out of his ear.
Oh, I've seen pictures of this guy.
Yeah, so you know, Jack.
I don't know if
Jack
What is that?
I don't know. Is this AI generated though? Now you have to ask those questions.
Fake clips.
Is this
fair point?
Is this like AI?
Has there been any alien interaction in this thing? And when
Not
you
yet.
do CIA, when you do your CIA interview process, you said you got to be fully researched to go into your interview, so you're asking actual questions. Have you started that already? I assume you have.
Not on the alien stuff, because I don't have a book coming out on alien stuff yet. But if I
CIA
did,
stuff.
But CIA stuff. Oh yeah. So this goes. Luckily, I have a little bit of a background there. So.
Tell us something.
Yeah.
This guy's-
Yeah. So there's the research that needs to be done there is more confirmation rather than anything else. Because even if you've been a part of something for a while, and I was just attached to them for a little bit in Iraq back in the day.
Who's that?
To the agents of the CIA. And
okay, you're the CIA.
so now it's not in the CIA, just attached to them for a little bit. In
you're in the CIA.
Been to black sites.
So now it's more confirmation that it is actual, research and trying to draw things out. It's more like, was I remembering that right? Or, and I know who to reach out to confirm a lot of these things.
Zero Dark 30 is about the CIA side of it.
Yeah, a lot of CIA stuff in there, SEAL stuff in there, but mostly CIA.
Yeah, that's from I think the CIA's angle. That's their angle.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yep.
And then the way they portray the SEALs working alongside of them, trying to snoop around, but not really being in, that's kind of what you're talking about, confirming information. Like, hey, the things we thought that we were kind of thinking was going on with them, we are now learning, everything we thought was accurate.
Yeah, well, CIA in general, you can go back and look at, it's quite the history. Quite the history.
Yeah,
you go back to
but we know nothing about it really.
Well, go to the mid '70s church hearings and Pike Committee hearings, where a lot of overreach by different institutions in our federal government, particularly the CIA, were exposed in front of Congress, and there were changes made. But to think that those changes were institutionalized to a way where they wouldn't encroach on our civil liberties again, that's wishful thinking.
So you served our country, but you're kind of an outlaw. Feels like. Do you?
I've never been much of a rule follower, but I think we go back. This is the popular culture, the influence of popular culture. Because back in the late '70s, there was a show called Black Sheep Squadron, starring Robert Conrad as Pappy Boynton, who was a Marine Corsair pilot, which is what my grandfather was.
The wings fold up.
Exactly. So they're in the South Pacific, and Robert Conrad portraying Pappy Boynton. They're drinking and they're fighting, and I liked that leadership style. So at that age, I think that really did have an impact on my leadership style. lifestyle going forward. And somewhere I had a disdain for authority just
Stone Cold
ingrained
Steve
in me.
Austin,
I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but it's probably it.
It's probably Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Most likely, if I was to really think about it.
Yeah, the real anti-authority narrative in Jack Carr's books and everything is from Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's right. I need to send him a book.
Well, hey, listen. I would assume he's a massive fan of what you got cooking.
Oh, yeah.
How could you not be? You're an impressive human being. We're very thankful that you stopped by.
Man.
The more information you spill into these papers and into these books, we will be grateful for and we will support, pal.
Man, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. It's so fun to hang out with you guys.
Yeah,
There we
you're
go.
going to be in Franklin, Indiana tonight.
That's it.
And you're going to be in Des Moines, Iowa on Wednesday, which is
Hell yeah.
manana.
Yeah.
And then June 4th, you'll be in New Jersey.
That's it.
So we got Franklin, Indiana tonight, Des Moines, Iowa tomorrow night, and then New Jersey in a week or whatever.
Yep.
Go see, what are those books? So this is going to surprise you.
Yeah.
I've never been to one of these book hangout sessions.
This is my shocked face. Right here.
Yeah, but you're a Navy SEAL, though, so what the fuck? And CIA.
Yeah, that's right.
And
CIA.
CIA or whatever.
I know.
So what is it? Everybody just kind of buys your book, you sign it for them, and then it's a meet and greet. That is the...
Pretty much. Go up on stage. Like last night, there was about 425 people in the auditorium.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
it was
awesome.
packed. All of your single seats. That was the max capacity.
You earned that.
That's right.
You earned
Thank
that,
you.
Jeff.
Appreciate it.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it. So do a little talk up on stage, and then do a question and answer, and then do a little signing or thing in line, and get to talk to people and say thank you. What I like about it is that I get to say thank you, because without people buying the book, reading the book, telling a friend, I wouldn't get to do what I love to do, which is the writing. That's my passion. Taking care of my family is my mission. Both those things come together. That's my purpose going forward. So I just love to be able to shake somebody's hand, look them in the eye, and say thank you for supporting this effort, because it means the world to me.
And I'm assuming they say, like, yeah, you're right. You should be thanking.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
That's right.
Yeah, you serve the country. You've created some of the greatest things that have made me occupy time and motivate me. But yeah, you're welcome, Jack. Is that what it is all night? Just a bunch
Pretty
of
much, about 425 people. 424.
We'd like to say thank you. Okay, Jack, we appreciate the hell out of you.
Hell yeah.
Connor would also like to say thank you to a special company here before we roll out of this beautiful, incredible Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. That was really cool you stopped by, Jack. Go ahead, Connor.
Today's show is sponsored by the best ticket app on planet Earth and
The moon. Oh, Jack, what do you know about the moon?
I'm about to learn a lot right now, I think.
No, well,
almost.
yeah. Good ad read. I respect that.
Sure.
I respect that.
SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads. They have a special link just for this program. For a limited time, you can get 15% off NFL tickets with the link in the show description. It works whether you're a first-time buyer or not. No code. Just click the link in the description. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And if there were to have ticketed events on the moon, SeatGeek would be the app to use up there.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to be on the moon soon? Why'd we go to the moon one time and then we haven't been able to be back? What's that all about?
That is a good question. We're going to have to ask the CIA guys about that one.
Hell yeah, we'll have to ask.
What about Jeff Epstein, Jack? Anything on him?
Is he in your books? Do you draw up any Jeff Epstein characters to get fucking murdered?
I think it might be in the future, because it's such a target, rich
Truth and
environment.
Consequences, this book.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of that. Oh, here's something I read about one time. You would know a better answer than me. You guys train those dolphins, right?
Yeah.
Navy SEAL dolphins?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're a real deal.
Oh, yeah.
Weapons.
The mammal program. Yes, it might have changed. My information may be dated on that, but yeah, really cool program. Mammal program, which includes the dolphins, and they're incredible. Yeah, they do anti-combat swimmer operations and swimming against the dolphins, meaning you're training the dolphins. You're just underwater with your rebreather on, going to a ship or something to put a limpet mine on it, and they send those dolphins down to go hit you. And they what they would have in real life on their nose is like a shotgun shell with some air in it or something like that, or it's a CO2 cartridge. That's it. So you hit a combat swimmer under the water, and it gives them an embolism, and up they go. I didn't really do too much with them, so that's mostly from my research. But there they are right there. Look at that.
Hey, they're like dogs, dude.
Yeah.
I learned about these dolphins from an equipment manager for the Indianapolis Colts. He had just read it, I think, in a newspaper. He just happened upon an article about this thing, and he couldn't wait to get the information out of his mouth. And I happened to be the next person he talked to. He's like, "You should see what they're doing with dolphins."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What do you mean what they're doing with dolphins?" He said, "I just read it. Look." He handed me the article. He's like, "Look, they're training these dolphins to swim around the ships that we have out at sea." And then I didn't know it was the CO2 that they actually hit.
I think it is.
I think it was like a dye. I heard it was like a dye that they had on their thing. So whenever they hit somebody that was trying to put a bomb, not only do they break a rib and like obviously fuck them up. But then like a dye goes to like the top of the water and they're able like, oh, something must be here. And they're like, yeah, the dolphins are the secret weapon of basically every ship that we have out at sea. I was mind blown by it because it makes sense. Because do you talk to the dolphin? Do you have a dorsal fin? You go,
What?
you know, Jim Carrey, that whole
I
thing.
think you do that.
But they're real deal. Dolphins are the real deal out there.
Yep. I don't know what the program's like now, but it's pretty.
Oh, we got these millennial dolphins. They won't fucking.
They don't fucking.
No, Jack. Jack. I can't take it with these millennial dolphins.
Man, I know. It's a whole program down the tubes.
All right, let's give away some books.
Let's do it.
All right, well, I got to make a shot.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Oh, here we go. Look at this.
Book is still available, right?
Book is still available.
Very available.
Very available right now.
Are we on the bestseller list yet for this one?
Find out tomorrow. Find out tomorrow.
Here we go.
Let's get on it.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hell yeah, you're on it. I got to make a shot here, Jack.
Let's do it. Let's see this.
Hello, bears.
What?
No, vitamin.
What?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Jack.
that was close.
Thank you. Got to make it.
Let's do it. Let's
Give
do
away
it.
books for the betterment of the world.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll go with it.
Only the Dead, a thriller
It is.
from Jack Carr, the most recent version of the Terminal List series.
That's it. That's it.
Sixth.
Nice.
6th installment.
Yep. There it is.
It's a big book.
More stuff
That
on
is.
the way.
That's the longest one thus far and the most brutal to date.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
559 pages here I'm looking at.
Damn.
It's a lot.
This is a
A lot of
Bible.
words. A lot of words.
Jack, you got a Bible.
But you can use it as a blunt impact weapon if need be, or a doorstop, or a doorstop.
How about this? This was smart marketing here, too. This thing.
That. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That thing's
Well, I always
sweet.
thought, hey, my iPhone doesn't come in just a manila envelope. It'd be the same device, but it comes in a package that as much thought has gone into that packaging as goes into that phone itself. So
Did we take the book out of there already?
Bam.
Open that thing.
Might be
This
that
thing
one
showed
right
up at
there.
our office.
Ah, look at that. Yep, there it is.
Oh yeah.
So you got the coin in there. There we go. You got a little letter in there, a little leather bookmark. Got the book, and inside, signed to you. And,
Appreciate you, Jack.
Yeah, you got
Hell yeah.
stuff in there.
Is that for sale or only like marketing?
This is just most of them go out to people who'd have no sort of social media presence or anything, just as thank yous.
Friends, yeah.
So yeah, these are just for people that I want to send them to say thank you. So that's you guys.
What a guy.
Weapon.
Man,
Nice.
thank you. Appreciate everything.
You're 101,
you,
Jack.
Yeah.
You guys.
You are literally 101. Here's to you, pal.
Cheers.
Make this shot.
Oh, no, Jack.
Oh!
Let's go. Let's give away 15 books.
Nice.
Only the Dead. The latest installment from Jack Carr, the incredibly brilliant Navy SEAL, who's a badass, who has not only entertained us, but protected us all, and will do so going forward. You're the man. We appreciate the hell out of you. To everybody that watches, thank you for allowing us to do this every single day. We'll be back tomorrow with a massive Wednesday. Coach McDermott from the Buffalo Bills, also another big-time guest. Not in studio, not as big as Jack Carr, but should be a blast. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Goodbye.